right, y'all. So I'm just gonna wait till some people come in.
It is.
All right, guys. So we're gonna talk about Monday Night Raw. So much for this Raw after main WrestleMania. And hello, 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 hello. How are you guys doing? I hope everybody is doing well.
It is not.
And we're gonna talk. We're gonna talk about this Monday Night Raw in just a second. Hold 1 second, y'all. All right, so Monday Night Raw is in the bag, and well, it wasn't terrible. It was usually worse than that. They always run matches back on Monday Night Raw, so I'm not shocked or surprised about that. So I mean, hello Jay, hello D Smith. I'm gonna call you D Smith because I can never get your name wrong. Demonte, can never get it right. I'm a horrible human being. I'm sorry. I'm gonna call you D Smith. So, anyways, listen, Raw is over, and let's just get into some of what just happened. So, the last thing that happened is the most recent. Drew McIntyre basically got attacked. I be saying it right. I am so I don't never think I be saying it right. I'm sorry. I thought Alexa Bliss was gonna take going back to the goddess gimmick since she cut Bray loose to cost Bray to lose. I didn't think that at all. I'll get to Bliss in a second. I be saying it right. I'm sorry. I don't ever think I say it right. Hold on a second, y'all. Let me turn off these notifications. They keep coming up. Okay. Okay, so first things first, let me get into some stuff for y'all. So just so you know, before I get into Raw, I just want to clear some things up. Babe, can you turn it down just a tad? Like just a little bit. Like I am not going to be reviewing anything AEW wise ever on my Instagram, on my YouTube, anywhere. I'm not going to do it. I don't have the energy nor the time to worry about what they're doing anymore, and they're not allowing me to do commentary on their show the way that I do commentary. Obviously they have an issue with it, or they don't like it, because they have given me an intellectual property strike on my Instagram. And just so nobody thinks that I'm bullshitting, okay, let me just go come on StreamYard right quick and upload the picture so y'all can see for yourself, because I have no reason to lie. Okay. But just so y'all know, I will not be reviewing them in any way, shape, or form ever again. I'm not doing anything. No lies, no nothing. Okay. So let me just get the pictures pulled up. Okay. All right, let me get down to it. Where is it? I just had it. I'm gonna have to go back. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so let me just go here. Let me turn that off since I'm finished with that. Let me go to my pictures and I will show you guys what I mean. So here's a picture of the copyright strike for my Instagram. Y'all can see it says rights owner All Elite LLC. It has their email and it's obviously a video. Now, the video that they struck was a video that I posted some while ago. So I wasn't passing it off as if it was my own property. I never said that I owned the rights to the images. I was speaking over it. I was doing commentary as I normally do. Usually, I don't get a copyright strike like that. Most of the time, the video will be struck in terms of WWE will do it occasionally and they will take down my video and they will say your property is property of WWE. You either have to delete it or you can fight it. This is not the same thing. If I get another one of these intellectual property violations, they will shut down my page. Okay. So this is different. So my entire page is going to be scrubbed of all AEW content in terms of video. I might even not post pictures or anything because they are striking my account and I'm not even getting hella views on the shit. And that's what's making me kind of pissed off. But just know that I am no longer going to be talking about AEW. I'm no longer going to be watching their streams. I'm not going to be doing any of that because I can't afford for my shit to get snatched down because they being petty. You feel me? So it is what it is. I'm not going there. I'm not going to be talking about AEW anymore, and I'm going to shut down the videos that are on my page. I'm deleting them as we speak. They're going to be gone. I'm not putting them back up anymore, and I'm not going to do any more of their pay-per-views. You won't get any commentary from me on their shows, their weekly shows, nothing. It's not happening. So anyway, Um, congratulations to you for getting rid of the trash. That is a mess. Hold on, let me give the rest of the crew an opportunity to let them know that I'm going live over here. Hold on. 1 second, y'all. Yeah, when you do commentary tip, you always have the TV down. At least I try to. Didn't care for AEW, only watched because of Big Swole. That's crazy. You do it even Raw and SmackDown. Like I said, if I get a it's different from an intellectual property violation from a copyright strike. So on YouTube, a copyright strike can get your channel shut down. Whereas on Instagram, a copyright strike basically just means delete the video and we'll forget this ever happened, right? Um, a lot of times with WWE, what'll happen is if you have a full on minute, like if you have a full on 15-minute video of nothing but their content, that's gonna get struck, sound or no sound. If I keep it below 5 minutes, sometimes it has to be below 7 minutes. Sometimes I can get away with 6 minutes. It will they'll likely keep it up as long as the sound isn't there and I'm speaking throughout the video. But if I'm just sitting there and it's long periods of pause and you hear the commentary from the TV or you hear my TV in the background, they will strike it because it is their content. I'm not upset that they decided to strike one of my videos. I'm more upset that they're trying to make it seem as though I am passing off their content as my property. And that's not the case. And that couldn't be any further from the truth. If that was the case, I wouldn't tag them in the hashtags in my videos. I wouldn't put AEW, All Elite Wrestling, and all the other shit in there because I wouldn't be giving them any smoke. I wouldn't be giving them any traction. Why would I do that? The only reason why I do it is for the video to be seen, for it to be put out there. So it very much so pissed me off. Number one, and so I'm gonna go live on Instagram too after about 2 hours over here to explain myself over there as well because not everybody follows me over here. But any whoosies, when I go over there on Instagram, I'll go more in depth about it. Let me get back into this mess. Okay, so Monday Night Raw is over. Okay, and we saw basically what they were going to do. I'm upset because they didn't have the no titles change tonight. They usually do. The one thing I did like was Charlotte Flair's promo. I did like that. I don't know about y'all. Some of y'all don't have issues with Charlotte Flair. Some of y'all didn't like the fact that she's there or that she's causing a ruckus and stirring up some drama. But let me tell you this. This is the most exciting the women's division on Raw has been since Asuka got the title at Money in the Bank. Tell me I'm wrong. I'll wait. I'll wait. Just tell me I'm wrong. Let me get some chicken. I'm just gonna wait. Let me look at these comments. That chicken busting, baby. It's busting, honey. First 2 hours of Raw was good. Man said, I know I was seem like I was making this all Charlotte's fault in a conversation, and I know it's not her fault. I'm just mad and frustrated because I don't necessarily get to see Charlotte's promo was amazing, to be honest. My favorites on TV. I can admit that. I don't hate Charlotte. I think she's amazing at what she does. I'm just biased. Listen, what I was trying to tell you before is simple. There is nothing wrong for you being upset that you don't get to see your favorites the way you want to see them. But you have to ask yourself, is your favorite going to give what needs to be given? Now, don't get me wrong. I love Bianca. I love me some Naomi. Excuse me. I was thinking about Bianca. I love me some Naomi. Naomi is great. But Naomi doesn't want to be a heel right now. So having Naomi out there would only work if Rhea Ripley is the antagonist and she's the protagonist. That's the only way it would work. And right now they've got Rhea Ripley acting as a tweener, and they've got Charlotte being your ultimate heel, and they've got Asuka being your face. So having Naomi out there does nothing for Naomi. And then when Naomi loses, you're going to be upset again. So why put the woman in a position to go through all of that when you could just leave it where it's at and let her compete in another way? When it's time for Naomi to get another shot, she should get one. I'm not saying she's not owed an opportunity. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying y'all always get upset when your favorites aren't on TV, but you don't keep the same smoke when it comes to everyone. You pick and choose who you want to get upset about. And it is always directed at Charlotte. But like I said before, there was no animosity towards Sasha Banks. Sasha was gone for 5 months. She came back, and the first thing they did was put her in title contingency. That was the first thing that they did. So what is the difference between Flair and Banks?
They say Charlotte already got everything.
I mean, keep it 100. What's the difference between the two?
There ain't no difference.
You can't pick and choose when you want to say Charlotte's taking opportunities from other people. She doesn't take no more opportunities than she's given. And it's not her job. It is not her job to make somebody else into a star. You're putting your anger and frustration on the wrong person. Put it where it belongs with the people who book the damn matches. That's what I was talking about. Because the same thing could be said of Johnny Gargano on NXT. The same thing could have been said of Io Shirai. Io Shirai was champion for 300 plus days. She could have dropped that title several times over.
T-Bar.
Come on now. You got to be fair. Charlotte wasn't in title contention. She ain't had no damn title. She ain't had a main title. She hadn't had the Raw title in almost 2 years. Is she not supposed to compete for the title?
Mm.
I'm just saying. Charlotte came back, made good, made looking good, made a statement. She's that bitch, and she's back for her title.
Period. Ooh.
I hope Bianca goes heel with her title reign.
I don't.
She won't. She's gonna be a face.
Rhea losing that title quickly.
I don't know about that.
So I missed Raw. So what happened?
Nothing worthwhile, honestly.
Charlotte came out and cut a promo, and people got upset
Because she
because
read
Charlotte cut a promo. They didn't like what she said, but
She was right.
She was speaking to all of them. So
Like, to be
I
honest,
mean,
when you listen to her promo, she was right.
the truth only hurt when you step out of line.
period.
Like, you hear me talk about, Charlotte and the opportunities and this and that, but what she said was actually, she was right.
It was the truth.
Opportunity.
It was. Like,
Well, if you think she overrated, that's your opinion, but I disagree.
It's
so like,
okay. People are allowed to be wrong.
if you guys are mad and upset that your favorites are not on TV, she was right. Give them a reason why to put you on TV. And if you look at the people that they do have on TV for title contention, is because they've shown that they can do it. Unfortunately, some of the girls there, they're not ready.
Peyton.
So I love the fact she named all the wrestlers except for Peyton. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
She named all the girls who would give her the smoke, or at least give rise to the occasion when given the opportunity. Except for Dana and Mandy, I wouldn't have
she
named
just
them.
said everybody that stepped up to her. Because, when she said she want to face Oscar, they was the first ones like, girl, you said you want to face Oscar? We want to face her too.
I mean, I'm just saying. I'm
But,
not saying she didn't, that she deserves an opportunity at the title. I never said that. All I said was what she said was the truth. She's entitled to that. And I'm not gonna tell her that she shouldn't say stuff like that and that Charlotte is stealing. There's no way you can
period.
convince me that she's stealing opportunities.
She's not the one booking the show.
That's the point.
When it comes to Charlotte, because I've been very vocal about not liking the way she is booked. But with Charlotte, I think oftentimes WWE puts her when they're in like a bind. They're like, we don't have anyone else that can go, so we're gonna put her in there because she's gonna deliver.
Exactly.
And and it's like she's gonna deliver, and of course, it doesn't. I don't think her booking does Charlotte any favors because it overexposes her to the point where she grows stale. But at the end of the day, like, not a lot of women are in that position that Charlotte is.
Yes.
Let me tell y'all something. Charlotte being added to the triple threat match, and it's gonna be a triple threat match.
Oh yeah, at WrestleMania
Backlash.
We'll get to that. I have a problem with that, but continue.
Just call it Backlash.
Honestly.
It's fine. I don't care. Call it whatever the hell you want. If you want to call it that, live your best life. But it's gonna be Backlash.
At least they have announced the matches, like some of the matches already, and it's like in like a month. So hopefully, we're gonna get some proper build.
It looks like they started that already.
Exactly.
It's fine. I'm fine with that. But here's where I have a problem, and it's not that people are not allowed to have their opinion. That's not the issue. The issue is when you are biased with it, and you know you're biased, but you're trying to present it as an argument of this is what it is, and I know that this is true. No, you have to go by the facts. Charlotte Flair doesn't book anything. She's told, this is what we have for you. And she says, okay. If you're in a business that is all about, it's a cutthroat business, whether they try to make it a family thing or not, it is always going to be cutthroat because everybody's always clamoring for the same thing. Okay? And you're trying to convince me that if your ass is in the back and they come up to you and tell you, okay, we got a storyline for you, Rhea and Asuka, you're going to compete at Backlash. You weren't at Mania, but we're going to put you on Backlash. You're telling me that you're going to turn that shit down.
No, you take it.
You're going to turn it down? Absolutely not. You're going to get your ass in there and be like, okay, how are we going to do this? How are we going to make this work? Who's winning? All right, I have to win. All right, so how are we going to build this? You're going to do what is necessary to put your ass on top. Doesn't matter if anybody else gets an opportunity or not. You're the one who was presented the opportunity. Obviously, they see something in you that they don't see in somebody else. It is unfair. It is unfair to put all of that squarely on her shoulders. Now, tears up before you get mad. I'm finna say something. You're probably not gonna like it, but let's just keep it all the way 100, okay? Roman Reigns was gone for almost 5 months. It wasn't his fault, but just hear me out. He was gone. He came back. He got the title.
Mm-hmm.
He's had it ever since then. The smoke and the animosity towards Roman is not always the same as what Charlotte gets. Charlotte, they rivaled each other before. Now, when Roman was a face, everybody hated Roman. They felt like he was overbooked. Oh, you're booking him too much. You're not giving other people opportunities when that's not true. Okay? Now, Roman had enough pull and there was enough respect for Roman backstage where when he came back from having leukemia, he was like, I don't want you guys to put the title on me. I'll wait. Right?
Yeah.
That gave somebody else an opportunity to run with the title for a little bit. He did that to give himself time to get back into the groove of wrestling and being on the road, right? But the key thing here is he had the right to say that. He was given the opportunity to do so. They don't listen to Charlotte. If they listened to Charlotte, she would have been wrestling Naomi years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's one thing that I've noticed is that, like, when it comes to Charlotte, Charlotte has made it very clear that she doesn't like her booking either because Charlotte wants other women to get the spotlight as well. But clearly, Charlotte doesn't have the same type of pull as someone like Sasha or Bailey because if Charlotte was vocalizing this backstage and they're still doing this, then clearly they don't listen to her when she like doesn't want to do something.
They don't listen to no woman. Because Sasha been saying she wanted Nikki for a long time and never got it.
I'm just saying, y'all gotta start thinking and stop always and you attack the superstars as if it's all their fault.
This ain't AEW. They ain't running their own show.
Yeah, and that's the thing too.
Can't do that.
Do some wrestlers have some sort of say in certain areas? Yes, but when it comes down to like the booking, if you're not Roman Reigns, Randy Orton, or something like that, you're not going to get much leeway with anything. And the thing is, even when Charlotte had an interview where she was talking about the whole storyline between Lacey and her dad, and she said it in the interview. She said on TV they made it seem like my father came out, I got distracted, and I lost the match. She said, I'm Charlotte Flair, my dad's Ric Flair. Why would I be distracted by what he's doing? That doesn't make sense.
Period.
So she even said it herself, like some of the booking just doesn't make sense. But she goes along with it because she's Charlotte Flair and she's going to do the best she can to her abilities. So a lot of the wrestlers have issues with booking that's going on. You can see it when they do certain tweets, they'll say it in a roundabout way, or when they're doing an interview in a non-kayfabe manner, they will talk about how certain things just didn't make sense. Because you guys have to remember, the people backstage, they're not actually booking the show for all of you guys to enjoy. They're booking the show for one man's eyes and a couple of people. That's who they're really booking the show for.
This is true. That's all I'm saying.
Not to mention that Vince, he calls shots, but USA and Fox calls the shots.
Now, as far as Monday Night Raw goes, it wasn't horrible. It could have been better,
I thought it was a decent show.
but it was better than what we've gotten from Monday Night Raw in a very long time.
in the past 2 months.
Yeah,
Yes.
the first hour was good. The second hour started to fall, and then the third hour it was fine.
I'm fine with with them running this stuff back. It's called Backlash. There's a theme to the pay-per-view. So unless they were gonna build up a new feud to cause somebody to have a reason to get some get back, like there's no other reason. There was no other way for them to go, in my opinion. They're gonna run this story with Lashley and Drew all the way till Backlash, and if Drew gets the title back, then some of y'all just gonna be mad. I'm
Yeah.
just telling you right now. Some of y'all just gonna be mad. I don't know what else to say other than that. As
Well,
far
let's see.
as the Viking Raiders coming back, I'm glad that they're back because the
Me
tag team
too.
division was
Me too.
suffering
Yeah.
without them. It was so
Yeah.
dry, and I'm like, okay, finally we gonna get some traction. And them titles should have almost and Styles should have been there. Them titles should have been off of them tonight. I'm sorry. I don't like almost. I don't think he can wrestle. I'm not okay with watching him on. I just don't like him. I
Not
just
at
No,
don't.
all.
he's not good. As much
I'm
as
gonna be
yeah,
honest. I think the reason why they gave AJ those titles is and Osmosis is he's a Grand Slam champion. They'll probably hold them maybe till WrestleMania Backlash, and then I have a feeling maybe the Viking Raiders might be getting them back,
That's
As they
fine. I don't
should.
care.
and I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. But
Paul Heyman doesn't help with storylines on Raw. He might have some minor input on SmackDown, but Paul Heyman's job is to be on Roman Reigns' dick for the next couple of months. That's pretty much. He like literally
Mhm.
he is a dingleberry. There you go.
damn,
Dingle.
not a
Tiff.
dingleberry.
What?
Tiff not pulling any punches tonight.
No, she.
So Sasha versus Bianca at Backlash again? I don't think so. I think she might go up against
Mm.
Bailey at
Mhm.
Backlash. I don't think they'll go back to that. I mean, it's possible, but me personally, I wouldn't do it. I would let Bianca wrestle somebody else.
Yeah,
That's just me.
Yeah.
I can see maybe they might give her they might give her maybe Carmella first.
Ew.
No.
And
No.
all because
Honestly, I
here's the
do see
thing.
them doing Carmella first.
No.
So here's the thing. So on I think it was the live I was on yesterday or the day before. I was like, usually after the pay per view, they're gonna run back matches on the next show, and
Yeah.
obviously they ran back Rhea and all that. So I'm pretty sure on SmackDown, they Bianca will come out and talk about how happy she is for winning the title and stuff. Sasha might come out and they might run that match on SmackDown for whatever reason. But honestly, at this point, move on from Sasha. Let Bianca face other people. Because, like I said, you have Carmella back there, whether people like it or not. You have Carmella back there. You can redo Bailey because they've been out of the crosshairs for a while. Um, who else is a singles competitor that's back there? My mind is going
Girl,
blank.
that's it.
Oh shit.
Billy's
Honestly, I
back
think
there.
Carmella is it. Well,
And
Carmella and
Billy.
Bailey, that's all I can think of.
I give
Yeah.
Bailey
Nah,
a
Bailey.
SmackDown championship match.
As much as I love
Um,
Billy, I don't
Sheamus was
want to see
not
her
on Raw
wrestle.
tonight. Sheamus wasn't there. AJ
Bailey
Styles
wasn't
and
there.
Omos wasn't there. Um, really, the only people that were there were people they literally had they were starting the next feuds for were the people that were there. Everybody else, I guess, had the night off. So okay,
Yeah, and for I know a lot of people don't want to see Carmella, and I get that, but when you look at the roster and like who they have, you're going to see Carmella. It's going to happen.
They ain't got no other. Well, they got other
Carmella Bailey's
choices,
in the
but
mix, whether y'all like it or not.
yeah, she
I
gets
don't want to
dipped
see that
out.
blackfishing bitch. I don't want to see her.
That
Now
girl's up
they
there.
got a new commentary team on Raw.
mm-hmm.
The guy that's on Raw that's doing commentary, he used to do commentary for the MLB. He used to work for ESPN, and he's a snitch.
The
I don't
snitch.
care what anybody says. He's a fucking snitch. So
We
I
about to
don't
get some
trust him.
good stuff. We
Well,
gonna
he
get some
So when
do.
good
shit
stuff.
start leaking really bad from WWE, remember I told you that motherfucker was a snitch.
Wait, what he
And
do?
Hmm. He was leaking information from his prior job.
he was
Ooh.
leaking information from ESPN, and ESPN had like people moving from different shows. They were bringing in new shows, and he would leak that information to the press before ESPN could even advertise it. So he got fired.
As he should have.
And then WWE said, "You know what? We'll hire you.
Dumbass.
Bottom of
Come
it.
on over.
I
Bottom
don't
of
Come
know,
it.
on
because
over.
Dave Meltzer
We'll,
done had a
we'll put
job
you
for a
right on the
while.
desk with Corey Graves. Let's go." And you already have a leak problem. Stupid.
Could have been
Stupid.
worse. It could have AEW could have snatched him up, and then they could have
Oh,
had everything
I'd have
leaked
been
too.
okay with that.
They ain't got
Sure
shit
would
to
have.
leak over in
I'd be like,
AEW.
send me all of the deets, bitch. Send it all to me. I would have been very
AEW
much
Alexa
put
would have
they
okay
loved
with
that,
that.
so that way she wouldn't have to watch the show every week.
AEW put their own shit out there. They ain't got
Very
nothing to
much
do with it.
would.
Put all that
Surprised
shit
Reginald
out.
hasn't been seen on Raw today, even last night, as he should stay the fuck off. I'm
He ain't
glad
been on
little
TV
koala
since.
bear ain't on TV.
Yeah,
Honestly,
What's
I
don't
think
happening?
he might
I
pop
think
up
they're
like
done with
Candyman.
him.
They
I think
done
they're
with
done.
him.
Probably.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because he
yeah,
hasn't been. He wasn't even on there. I think like prior to Mania either. So
yeah.
Good. He ain't need to
He
be
had
there.
because he had no reason. Yeah, there was no reason for him to be there. They were just playing off of a segment that I guess there was some people that liked it, but if you
mm.
have there was no storyline with them. The jokes got old. There's no reason to use him anymore, so he can go back and finish cartwheeling around the PC.
I
Period.
still can't believe he was flipping
No,
around
to
in
the
those
new
damn
commentary
shoes.
guy,
I know
he's
that hurt.
cool. He just a tattletale. Well, he not a tattletale. He just talk too fucking much.
The only thing about the new guy, as long as he keep his mouth shut, I don't have no problem with him. The new guy on commentary, the only problem I have with him is that he was a little excited. So some things he got wrong, but it was his first night, so I give him a
Hmm.
pass. Okay.
It can't be worse than
So
Taz and JR.
and so the question is, so is
Barbecue
Samoa
bird.
Joe gonna wrestle? I don't know.
We
I
don't
would
Mm.
know.
hope so. I would hope so. If Samoa Joe's gonna wrestle, then I'm sending him to SmackDown, and he's gonna have a feud with Roman.
Yep.
That's what I would do.
I don't. I would save him. I would say that for SummerSlam.
He would go to SmackDown for sure.
Yeah, the
He
way
would
I would
be he would be amazing. Period.
yeah, the way I would do it is, and me and Tiffany had like talked about earlier. You can also bring in Samoa Joe on commentary, have Roman come out because if they because as of right now, I don't think they have anybody for commentary. So you need people to help with Michael Cole. He's another one. You can have Samoa Joe come out do commentary during a Roman segment. Have Roman say something. Samoa Joe didn't like what he said, and you can start something there with that. But Michael Cole, I would rather if they're not going to use Samoa Joe on commentary and they're not going to put him in the ring, why didn't you just put him on SmackDown?
Um, I don't know what they did with their SmackDown commentary, but they really, I mean, they already just had Corey and Cole over there, so it may just be Cole for a little while. I'm hoping that they figure out a way to utilize that absent spot, kind of like how they did on Raw a few weeks back when
Haley,
Samoa
yeah.
Joe wasn't there, and they just rotated people out to be on the
Mm-hmm.
table with them. That
Yep.
I don't have a problem with, as long as they fit in and with that particular segment or whatever. I don't have an issue with that. So me and Janae was talking in our group chat, and we was like, okay, well, they could rotate people out. They want to start storylines, cool. Start off with Mickie James, put her on commentary with Cole, bring out Chelsea Green, let her have a match with Santana Garrett or some shit, and start rolling with their storyline. She could be making Mickie James feel creepy, and Mickie can make comments on commentary. It can progress from there.
Mm-hmm.
As it gets longer on into the story, you'll see her interact with her backstage. She might come out, and then she'll attack Mickie, and they can move from there. Bayley could also be on commentary and
Yep.
have a one-off from commentary with someone else too. Billy Kay's another one. So it's not hard because those three women have the personality to be on commentary. and it would work. Okay.
Especially with Bailey and Michael Cole because they would vibe off of each other so well. And I
Yeah.
think that commentary would be pretty hilarious. And Bailey's shown that she's gotten tremendously better on the mic. Mickey James, you already know she's good in commentary because obviously she's done it before, so that's good. And Billy Kay, like she's just hilarious. She can make anything work, and I think
Right.
that it'd be really good for her, especially if they don't have her do anything. I could see Mickey and Bailey being on commentary just for the sole purposes of getting the storyline started, and then Billy Kay being on commentary. And if she's good at it, and you don't have anything for her as far as a storyline, or you're not going to make her a valet, you can keep her on commentary for a little bit longer, and she can also continue to work on her wrestling. And when she feels she's ready to get back in the ring, you can do that too.
Yep.
Oh, she could do that. That's a good one.
Mm-hmm. She has that luxury.
She said Chelsea could have all the Thunderdome screens watching her creepily. That ain't half bad. You know the ones behind Michael Cole on the where the
Mm-hmm.
desk at? Aaliyah, you might be on to something right there, girl. That's all right. Because I'd be
Yeah.
fucked out. I'd be like,
Because can you imagine, like, Nikki, she's on commentary, and let's just say Chelsea Green, she's a fan, she's, introduced herself as a fan, but also says she wants to, learn commentary. And at first it seems innocent, and Mickey James, like, yeah, come out with me to the commentary table and just see what I can do. And she does that, and then she gets a little bit more and more and more, a little bit more creepy. And Mickey James is like, nah, I'm cool on you, stay away from me. And then, like Aaliyah was saying, you can have it to where she's back there, and I would do it more on like one screen where she's on the screen, and maybe you can have like a wrestling match that's like a cold match, and you're watching them wrestle, and the camera's watching them wrestle by the barricade, and then you see Chelsea Green there with the Mickey James shirt, and Chelsea Green is seeing it on her commentator video, and it's just like, what the fuck? Like, are you serious?
Now, if WWE uses this idea, they better send you guys a check.
you know they ain't gonna pay us. They use our ideas all the time. You
Sure.
stealing bastard.
I know, but hopefully me saying this makes them use it. So I
If they
manifest
don't,
it.
if Friday comes and Michael Cole is commentating 2 hours by himself, they are the dumbest motherfuckers in the world.
You know
It's
full well they're
little,
gonna do that. You
it's
know that they're
so
gonna do that.
obvious, especially
I
especially with Bailey. Even after the reaction that she got when people loved her on when she was at WrestleMania, like how could you not? You can even do Michael Cole doing commentating by himself for like the first 15, 20 minutes, and then have Billy Kay come out with a resume and be like, "Oh, matey, I saw that you didn't have a commentary partner. Here's my
Stop!
resume. On the
Jeanette,
back says
what
I'm good
the
at
back,
commentary. I'm
resume.
good at interviewing. I'm just going to
is my
scooch over,
resume?
mate. I'm
There you
going to
go.
scooch over here for a little bit, and we'll just have a little chit chat, and we'll
And then when he
conversate
says
about
something really bad, she'd be like, "You go to journalism for that?
Are you
yeah."
joking me?
You gotta be joking me."
That's all you got. That's all
Yeah,
you
and she could be doing that where someone having a match, and then like the person tries to cheat to win, and she'd be like, "Oi, Michael Cole, you ought to be joking me. Did you not see
What
that?"
is with the oil?
That was a good
I don't
joke.
know.
That was a good joke.
It will work, and then I'm pretty sure Billy Kay and Michael Cole can easily play off of each other because Michael Cole, like when something's funny, he has a hard time not showing it. He
Yeah,
breaks
he
very
breaks
Oh
so
easily.
bad.
yeah.
It
I
depends. He
remember
didn't break for Bailey.
I remember at Royal Rumble, I think it was 2 years ago, and Kyrie Sane was coming down the ring with her telescope. And I think Corey said something about are the rules the same for running with a telescope as it is for running with scissors? And Michael Cole broke so hard for that. And
The best. Go ahead.
no, and it took him he had to completely reset so he could call the match again.
The best one for me was when it was Corey Graves, Michael Cole, and Renee on commentary, and Corey Graves said maybe he should have utilized the small package, and Renee and Michael Cole
Just
lost
start
it.
cracking up.
And then and then the thing too was like I guess I forgot who did an interview when that happened. They were getting yelled at in their earpiece because they couldn't hold it anymore.
Renee said she's turned her shit down.
Yeah, she said it was loud.
She said, I call him out. She said, sometimes I listen to him, and then, you got Vince in my ear just yelling all loud and whatnot.
Y'all
And
like the
other
new
people
Raw
talking.
stage.
So
I
I
didn't
turned that
see the
shit
Raw
down.
stage. What does
It's
it look
not
like?
really different. They just because they're in a smaller arena, it's not so massive. They were able to curve the screens around to the front of the stage. So when they come out, the screens are at the edge of the stage, and then when they walk out, they're just the screens are basically surrounding them. So it's
Yeah, it
not
is
just
Oh,
half
smaller.
of
They
the
need to
room; it's surrounded.
they need to chill on that
interesting.
fire pyro.
I
I say y'all didn't goddamn almost burnt Drew. All that goddamn fire.
think they could clear out some of those screens and then just have people in there like they do at NXT. But if the
Yeah.
venue says no, then they can't do that.
Yeah, I don't know if the venue agreed because I feel like if the venue was like, yeah, you can. Well, they might do it not WrestleMania Backlash, maybe the pay per view after.
Which is money in the bank, it should
Yeah,
be.
I feel like when it comes to like having people there, like if it's like I feel like they should reserve it for like the big four.
Uh, that depends. I mean, I don't mind that. That's a cool idea, but it would really depend on how if the show's worth it. Let's put it that way. If
Mm.
it's
yeah,
a shit, because Raw hasn't been great, so if it's not going to improve, then no, they shouldn't have fans there. Like you don't pay people to give me a shitty product.
Yeah,
I'm not going
because
to
I
pay you
mean
for
the
that.
reason I say like big four is because I feel like those ones like you're not guaranteed a good show, but like you kind of go into it with like some kind of good expectations.
At
Whereas
least the
with
match quality would be different.
yeah,
Be
exactly.
decent.
But like if it's like a regular pay per view like Money in the Bank, you're not necessarily guaranteed a good show enough to have fans there. But that's just what I think.
So overall, and they had Rhea Ripley and Asuka have a rematch for the title. I don't like Rhea Ripley and Asuka's chemistry in the ring.
Me either.
I
they don't
don't like
work.
it. It don't look like they mesh well, and that's not a problem. It's just some wrestlers and some people in general, they may like each other, they may be cool, but they don't mesh well in the ring. I don't know if it's their styles are too different for it to work, but it just seems exhausting to watch them wrestle each other.
I think it's like this a similar situation to like Asuka versus Zelina. I just think there's
Oh
something just not
god.
there. Something's missing.
No,
Yeah,
they
because
have
I
no
was
chemistry
watching.
in them.
Yeah, I was watching the match on the pay per view, and I was like, they're not clicking. Something's just not right. And then when I was watching the match tonight, I was like, they don't mesh well. Like they seem like they're the ones where they need more time to go over the match instead of like right before, as opposed to some wrestlers can get out there and do it. Because there was
Yeah.
just like certain things where like when Rhea Ripley tried to pick Asuka up over her head and
I saw
he
that.
fell
Yeah.
he fell over. There was like some, and then she did it two more times. So I think the second time something wasn't right. Um, there was another move that was just like miscalculated. The timing was off on like a lot of things, and it just they just don't mesh well together.
Mm-mm.
So I honestly I can't say that I would want to see them wrestle again
But
unless
that's why
they
Charlotte's being
yeah
added.
yeah
I
She's
because
think
needed.
yeah she definitely is needed because I don't know what it is. Rhea Ripley and um Asuka they're not good opponents for each other.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
I think she just ain't have enough time to fill her out for real.
Because usually Asuka can pretty much wrestle with anybody. I don't generally think it's anybody's fault. I just think something between them is amiss. I don't know if it's a miscommunication thing, but it's not working. Was it better than Monday? Was it better than Sunday's show? Yeah,
Mm-mm.
that was a better match than what they did Sunday night, but it still wasn't good. I
Mm.
don't. So I'm curious as to how this will work with Charlotte in there. Probably similar to the way Daniel was an anchor for Roman and Edge. She'll be the same thing for Asuka and Rhea.
Yeah.
What else happened? The New Day
Nia
went
big
up
ass
against
tail.
Riker. What did they go up against? Riker and Elias, and they beat them.
As
That
they
shit
It was
was
Yeah.
funny.
good.
It was
I'm
funny
gonna
because they
try.
had that Adventure Time reference, and then they bigged up DMX in there.
Child, if I was in the back, I'd be like, y'all got 5 minutes.
Mhm.
Like, I'm tired of seeing like y'all have 10-minute matches for what? Why are they having 10-minute matches and they just gonna win?
Mhm.
That's a lot, but
I would
clever.
say she could do that like every week. She does a different disguise.
Yeah, it's clever.
It's like
I
that
watch it. It'd be
joke
funny.
of like when you get like a free cookie for like a shot or something, and then someone like comes back in. It's like that.
Yeah.
Ooh, speaking of cookie, I got oatmeal raisin cookies. Hold on.
That's
Okay.
disgusting.
Ooh,
Anyway,
raisins.
what else
Ooh,
happened?
Um, Bray came
I
back and
Charlotte,
was
I
over
just
here
lost some
talking like a
respect for
preacher.
Janae there.
Fight me.
what happened? Oh, Naya,
Bitches was
Naya, and
tripping.
Oh yeah.
Mandy. Um, Mandy got to learn how to slap. I know that. I'm gonna need for her to work on that cause I mean, Bianca and Sasha slap harder than that.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And Sasha don't, and no shade to Sasha, but she don't have half the power but Mandy got.
Okay.
Mhm.
Mandy could have slapped the dog shit out of Nia. I most definitely would have and just been like, bitch, I'm finna hit you. Understand that this is what I'm supposed to do, but I'm finna
Like,
really slap your ass today. Hold
like,
on.
like, girl, I'm
Mandy
finna
just
hit
be
you. Lock your jaw. Just lock your jaw.
I'd have straight up pimp slapped the fuck out of
Mm-hmm.
Nia. Dead in her shit. I'm like, you gonna act like I ain't hit you anyway. You gonna get your big ass up and eat it. Like, so gone
You,
somewhere.
Mandy
you
gives
Just
gonna
me
let
feel
me.
very
these.
much.
You gonna
I'm
feel these
scared to
flippity
hit
craps.
my
Yeah.
friends.
I feel like Mandy's just too nice. Like she's afraid to like actually hit bitches.
She
Me
really
and
is.
Don, yeah, me and Don were having the
Mhm.
conversation in our group chat where it's like, Mandy's pretty strong, but she act like she
Mhm.
can't push no weight. Like she
Yeah.
really should be throwing
Mhm.
females around.
She could probably lift Naya. Shit.
I don't understand what the hesitation is
Maybe.
or where it's going. I don't get it.
Because when Mandy first got there, they were building up her power like she was like a force to be reckoned with, and then now they don't even do it.
Mhm.
Because I remember like the first Women's Royal Rumble, they kept bringing up the fact that Mandy could like what was it? That she could like squat over 300 pounds,
Mhm.
and I'm like, where's that,
Mm-hmm.
Mandy?
I wonder
Can
who
she
made
squat
that
Naya?
decision.
I want to see that. I want to see Mandy squat Naya and then slam her down.
She got a
I
tap
don't know
too.
what it is,
I don't know
but
what's going on.
yeah, I don't know what it is, but like that girl can clearly do some things, but she's acting like when she was having that match with Sonya, Sonya was laying it on her, and I'm just like, they say in wrestling, you hit your friends harder because you trust them. Like you've been rocking with Sonya for the longest time.
Mm-hmm.
I
Hit
would have
her.
beat that bitch. Yeah, I would have did her so
Like how
dirty.
are you? Yeah, like how are you so afraid to hit this girl? Hit her, and she just wasn't.
Sonya wasn't afraid to hit her.
Okay. So he
And
was
that was the
letting you.
thing. Sonya was whipping her ass. It's like hit that girl, and it's just like when you watch her wrestle, and I'm just like, girl, you are muscular as shit, but yet when you do a clothesline, you like jump in the air and use your forearm to like push them down. And I'm just like, give them a clothesline her.
The last time I saw Mandy use her power was like when she did like a body check on Nikki, and that was like
Yep.
around like 2020, and I was like, "Where's
That was
that
Royal
Mandy?"
Rumble.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, because she's wearing
Very
that weird
nice
ass
time.
bodysuit or
I
that
was
weird ass one
scared.
piece. But
God bless
Yeah,
her.
I don't know if
That body too. Ooh, that was scary.
yeah, like I don't know if they're telling her to wrestle a certain way, but girl, you gotta get some. If it's not, you gotta get some confidence in you. Because if
yeah,
I was a booker and I kept seeing someone like you who has power and you're just basically like tiptoeing on daisies when you wrestling, I'm gonna be like, either get it together or you could be chilling with Peyton.
She wrestled how she looked.
Mhm.
Cute.
I don't know. Maybe she doesn't know how to utilize the power. Maybe that's it.
She know how to because she started out
Mm-mm.
strong.
Yeah, she started
She
out
know how to
that
use
way.
her strength. She know how to use her power.
She
I mean, I
started
know,
out
She
but
can
doing
like,
wrestle
some
when she
weird
want
stuff.
to. Is basically what she do.
I know, but like,
Basically.
the change came when she got to the main roster. So maybe something about the main roster caused her to change it. That like
She
was
was
like
doing
maybe
it
it's a
on the
smart
main roster.
decision for you to like, you know, not do the power as much. I don't know.
You know, I hope
So,
that is what they told her, because if she's doing this on her own accord, I would be very disappointed.
Yeah, me too.
So I'm
I know
hoping
she's
it's
doing this
somebody
on
else
her
telling
damn
her,
own.
Because Mandy's like a
don't do
deceptive
that.
powerhouse. You don't see it coming, and that's what I liked about her at first. But then once she rebranded, it was like it was over. But I'm glad she got her inches back though, because the bobs weren't cutting it.
She knew.
No, she kept cutting it. That's why I wasn't cutting it.
yeah, the thing too is Dana. Like, I know we give flack to Dana, but Dana has power behind her too. And me personally, I'm not a fan of their character because I feel like with the
Girl,
power that
what
they
character do
have,
they have?
the Mattel Barbie girls, with like the power that they have and with like a little work, they could be some wrecking bitches on this roster. And it's like you guys come out with your Mattel Barbie clothes, your little blonde hair, your sunglasses, and it's like, look at me. And it's just like, me personally as a booker, I feel like, well, not me personally, but I feel like they're more focused on their looks when it's like, y'all have the ability to be wrestling
Yeah.
powerhouses for the tag team division. Like if they would rebook them the way that I feel like they should be booked, should be able to beat Shayna and Nia
Yeah.
without a problem.
They also focus too much on like their athleticism. Like I think when it comes to Dana and Mandy, they keep doing like these handsprings and shit.
Most
And like
of
I
them.
miss
Mostly
when they
Dana.
were
Dana
they were
being
just
there
pure
just
power.
flipping.
Yeah, I miss when they were just pure power. Like I love Dana's.
Mhm.
I love when Dana first brought out the Swanton. Now I don't really like it as much because she does it weird. But like, I thought it fit her at first because it was so graceful. But like, I don't know. I just miss when they were just pure power.
Who was the wrestler that accused Dana of stealing her move again?
Girl, there's
Lana.
It
been
was
many.
Ember. It was
Ember,
Lana.
Lana. Who else?
Basically, Dana a thief.
Alexa too.
Yeah. Ember, not Ember. Dana be stealing.
She do.
She a thief.
And it's not even like the thing about it is like you can steal a move, but like don't steal like a unique
Don't steal
move.
the obvious big fucking move.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Like she
think
did she did like a version of the Twisted Bliss from like the second rope, and like everyone was like, "Girl, why'd you take Alexa's move?" Like
Alexa's
Alexa was
like,
on
I've
the main
seen that
roster, was
before.
on Raw at that point, and it was
yeah,
just so blatant.
there was a wrestler. I forgot which one it was, but I remember they talked about it. Either it was like in an interview or something where they were discussing with Dana a move, like their finishing move. And I think it was Lana. They were discussing, she was talking to Lana, and Lana wanted, I think it was a Swanton bomb that Dana does. And she was talking about using that as like her finishing move. And then that same night, she went out on Raw or something like that and like
Oh
did it.
no,
No, it was
that
the
was on Total Divas, and it
yeah,
wasn't the
Okay.
That was
Swanton.
on.
This was
It
it was
was
like
that.
before
hoop into the ropes
Dana
and
had the
then
Swanton.
laying in on their torso.
It was that cartwheel splash.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
And I think Lana was doing it in training. Lana was training
And Dana
it,
was
and
the
then
one
Dana was there,
helping
and then
her.
Dana was like, "Oh, that's a nice move. I'll take it," and then she did it.
Dana was the one helping her practice the move. And she knew that Lana was gonna be on TV.
No,
so.
Dana wasn't helping her. Dana was just like near, like around the area, and she overheard from what the Total Divas episode said.
She stole it. And Lana was like, really? I was like, girl.
Because if you look at Dana, like, she doesn't really have like, you know how wrestlers have movesets that they do? She
Yeah.
has like the backhand spring kind of a thing, but other than that, she really doesn't have a moveset.
She doesn't.
She got lost when her friend got injured.
Emma?
Yep. Because they supposed to.
Is that who
Dana
taught her to
and
steal?
Emma was supposed to come up together and they were supposed to antagonize Charlotte. Emma ended up getting injured and it took her out. So then it was okay, well, Dana, we still got something for you. And then they put her on Charlotte. And it's just been down ever since then.
They had her turn face on Charlotte and then did nothing with it.
Child.
They were like, "You're gonna beat Charlotte's ass, and then we're not gonna do anything with it."
It would have been a slap for me talking about I'm sorry. Girl, I'm about to beat your monkey ass. Talking about I'm sorry.
See, they'd be mad if I booked Raw and SmackDown. Well, not the wrestlers, but
I want
the
that.
the networks and everything else. They'd be like, "This is not what we want. I don't care. That's not what you want, girl.
You pay
I'm a
it's
book
still
the show the way
people.
it's supposed to be booked."
You said I do what's right.
Okay. Don't be
Well,
worried about what USA doing because wherever your product go, that's where your fans is gonna watch it. You could be on NBC on a Thursday night and we will still watch it because it's your product that we like to
Yeah.
watch. You too busy pleasing the people that's not even don't even have an input on the show. Probably don't even watch the damn show.
No, you know they don't watch it. They just get the numbers report and go, "What the hell is this? Fix it."
Ridiculous.
anything else I missed about Monday Night Raw
Did you talk
besides
about Bray?
Alexa?
Mm,
Yeah, I told y'all that the change in control was coming.
Uh-huh.
So they separated Bliss and Bray, but they still got a similar aesthetic. Now, what was funny was Bray Wyatt.
that was funny. Sister
They
Abigail.
said witches be wildin'. I said, nigga.
Sister Abigail. She was like, oh, forget
She
that
was
bitch.
like, fuck that bitch.
He said,
I'm like,
he
yo,
said,
Which
please.
is be
she tripping.
wild.
He was like,
She like, I don't like that
no.
bitch anyway. I was like, oh,
He said, fuck
damn.
her.
It's
That
because
bitch.
Charlotte said bitch multiple times. They were like, you can't do it. Like we gotta limit it.
She was like, witches be wildin'. I said, boy, stop.
It's like in PG-13 movies when they have like a swear count. They can only say like a swear words like a certain amount of times before it goes to rated R.
This PG shit be killing me.
It do.
The part that was sending me was when Bray was talking about him being reborn and how the fiend's gonna come back. He sounded like a preacher talking about the return of Jesus. I
That
was
was the
like,
point. You
That's why they
ever heard
start
of a
putting the
preacher
church
named
music.
Ernest Angley, or have you ever watched those televangelists?
Televangelists.
That
no,
was what
I
he
had
was
never watched
making
those
fun
things.
of.
They always just talk about the rapture. It's all they talked
He was
about was
like,
the fucking
where
rapture.
he got that heel shit from Ernest Angley, I'm telling you. Because at 6 o'clock in the morning when I was a kid, Ernest Angley used to come on TV and he would have his sermons. He would go to Africa and stuff too. And he would lay hands on people and he would just go, heal, heal. And that shit was
Okay?
funny.
That shit was so damn. It was, I was like,
Fucking
I
funny.
saw a
this shit ain't
televangelist, and
real.
I don't know where
He
they
said,
were,
I'm
but there was
talking
this
to
one
God right
woman,
now.
and they were like, "Is this an oral sex demon?"
When I'm done talking to him, I'm gonna touch you on your forehead
Yeah.
and you gonna start walking.
Yes.
Heal. Heal.
God knows.
Heal.
God knows.
Heal. Oh my God,
Yeah.
it's a miracle. I ain't walked in 7 years.
And don't he
Get
like
the
when he
fuck
touched
out
when
of
he touched
here.
and you know, like when he touched their forehead, he'd be like literally like face smushing them
Yes, he
Okay?
to
does.
the
About to break
ground.
their fucking neck.
He'd be like heal and just basically slam your head to the
That
ground. I'm
shit
just
is
like,
funny.
It's
For
the
that
closest
one,
thing I've
there's a
got to watching
meme
like a
where that
televangelist.
televangelist is hitting people with his coat and shit, and they falling out because they got the power of God. They done got blessed, so they falling out. This shit is funny.
I remember when I was young at my church they did that, and then how they put you on the ground and then like they put a blanket on you. I didn't know what the hell was going on. I thought
My
it was
grandma
nap
was
time.
wearing them
I was
shit.
like, bet.
Yeah, yeah,
Not nap time.
My grandma
I was like,
had
y'all
them
finna
Liz
blanket
put the
was
people.
damn near naked today.
I saw a televangelist.
Okay.
I don't know who it was, but it was like this one lady was coming up, and I think she was confessing or something. And he's like, "It's oral sex demon." And she started spitting up, and I was like, "What is happening?" And they just kept saying, "It's the oral sex demon. It's
Child,
coming out of you.
What
It's
the
coming out of
hell?
you."
she was getting that
Spitting up, and
paycheck.
I was like, "What is this?"
She was getting
Oh,
that
I need to
goddamn
find that
paycheck.
clip. That's funny.
Miz paying Damian Priest with the help of Maurice, as he should have.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he did pin him. Maurice helped him. I wasn't surprised about that. Damian Priest had to lose at some point. He lost. Miz lost to him at Mania, so it was only fair.
Yeah,
Okay,
it looked
want to
like for a
totally
second they were
situation.
they
Goddamn
were
Miz
teasing a
lost to Finn.
breakup of Miz and Morrison.
I think it's coming fast sooner than later
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because after a while, Miz need Maurice more than he need Morrison. Trust me.
and
And
honestly,
Morrison
with
got
the
to so
Viking
damn
Raiders
stupid.
coming back, you can break up
Morrison
Miz and Morrison.
Morrison need a haircut is what he needs.
He
That's
not
what I
cutting his
said.
hair.
You need to cut that
I'm
shit off.
I
telling
will
you, every
literally
time.
I will go to what is it, Cameo, and I'll say, hey,
You
Ty
saw that one
Valkyrie,
too?
I pay you this
She
much
saw the
money so
one
you
with the
can.
dude that was the oral sex demon. That was with the lady spitting the stuff out.
Yep.
She was getting a paycheck. That's what it was. She was getting
Mm-hmm.
So
paid.
if you've never seen that, or if you've never heard of that, it's like when you go to those televangelists, more specifically, like they're not real. Is the point?
Yeah.
It is a show to prove the power of God. God doesn't work like that. First of all,
Mm-hmm.
and that's not how he works. He's not a magician. They don't do magic tricks. This is all done to prove the person that's supposed to be the vessel somehow is a vessel for God, and he's working through them. And he can somehow heal and provide everything for you through this one man. And that's just not true. So they'll do things like they'll hire actors or they'll have people who are higher up in the church to come down and sit in the audience and then they'll pick them out specifically and they'll cast demons out of them. That's what he was doing. He was casting out a demon. He called it an oral sex demon. So
Mm-hmm.
apparently
These are
she
the
was
oral
sucking a lot
sex
of dick.
demons. Mm-hmm.
So he was like, it's a demon in there making you do this. I'm like, no, that bitch just got locked off. Like, just that's all. Like, don't blame that on no demons. You did that to yourself.
If
You
you're
was out
a
here.
if you're a
You was out here sucking
preacher,
dick.
if you're a preacher and pastor, and your house is worth $40 million,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm.
something
Girl,
wrong.
don't call Joel Osteen out like that.
I'm
Ooh,
just saying,
well,
if
TD
you
Jakes got a lot of got $1 million worth of houses
yeah,
and
if
stuff.
you're a preacher or pastor speaking the word of God, but you rolling around in $40 and $50 million houses and Benzes and
Okay, so
Lamborghinis and
let's say
stuff,
how it works though. A
what
lot
you
of
doing with them
times,
tabs,
money
my
don't
brother?
come from the church.
Don't TD
The
Jakes
money
got a
comes
show?
from when they do those big ass conferences and
Mm-hmm.
when they go around and they preach at other people's churches, they get compensated for that. That even happens on a small level. So
And
especially
they
in the black church, when you go to church and there's a guest preacher there, now that guest preacher, if he's big enough, he's gonna require a fee up front. I know for a fact that Bishop McClendon, he's a big preacher. Oh, he charged $10,000 off the top. He's not going
ooh,
nowhere for less than 10 grand.
and they don't pay taxes, and they go for PP. Is it PPP or PP loans?
PPP.
They can get the PP loans because they're a church and technically their church was affected by COVID. Mhm.
They don't pay not a single. Because I know
They don't pay
Joel
taxes
Osteen.
because they're religion.
Yeah,
That's
they
how
don't.
Scientology is able to keep all
Hmm.
that money they got because they done got declared a religion. See, but they a cult.
That's why a
Okay.
lot of
Mm-hmm.
people were mad because Joel Osteen he went for a PPP loan and got, I think it was like $10 million,
He
and
didn't need one.
he didn't need it. He didn't need it at all, and people were upset because a lot of people that did apply to it, they weren't allowed. They couldn't get it because they didn't have the money for it, and they're like, this man has $10 million in a loan that he doesn't need, living in a $40 million house, driving all these cars,
Not paying taxes.
not paying taxes.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
Mm.
Now here's the deal. If you're a preacher and you're a salaried preacher, you have to pay taxes because technically that is a profession, right?
Yeah.
Which is why most preachers opt out of a salary and just want to be compensated by the time that they preach. So what they'll do is they'll get paid for that day. And then they'll go out and supplement their income by either one, having a regular 9 to 5, which most preachers with smaller churches who actually care about the church have a regular 9 to 5. Okay. those mega churches, mega preachers, they make their money outside. So when they do guest appearances, like take TD Jakes, for example, he goes on Dr. Phil sometimes. Sometimes he'll pop up on some of these reality shows, like counseling people and shit. He goes and does those speeches, or he goes around and he's contracted to do something. He's compensated for that. Movies, TV, music. He has books, all that stuff. That's where his money comes from.
Yes. Come on, the drip.
The church itself, I don't right off know if he's salaried from his church, but his church pulls in millions. But from what they say, it goes back into the church. Now,
From
Joel
what
Osteen
they
is the
say.
same.
Yeah, you gotta keep them lights on.
Joel Osteen is the same. Like, their church is massive. Have y'all seen their churches? Their churches are huge. Like, right.
They are big as hell.
Like, Joel Osteen's another one. He makes his money through books. He makes his money through those audibles. He has a bunch of audible books. He goes around and does conferences too. He'll go overseas and preach. He gets compensated for that. Those big pastors make a lot of money outside of the church. His name is John. What is his name? Jared, the pastor that keep cheating on his wife, the one that's real thick around the middle. Yeah, John Gray. That's his name. He gave his wife a goddamn Lamborghini and still was fucking other bitches.
The
Still
Lambo
was
was to keep
fucking
her
other
quiet.
bitches. Gave her a whole Lamborghini for her birthday. And I was like, now which one of these parishioners' money did you steal to get this woman this damn car?
Girl, that was the damn tithe.
Cause child, he had a girl talking about she pregnant, and his wife said she gonna stand by her man. I said, okay, Dolly Parton.
Y'all see a bonnet. I see a helmet of salvation.
Okay, baby. I said, okay.
That's true because they obviously know if they leave, they ain't got nothing.
Lamborghini.
Ooh, that
Pink
killed me every
Lamborghini just to
time.
race in China.
And they ain't got no prenup, so his wife could take everything he owns, all of it.
Make sure I get me a
And
prenup.
the
Ain't no
thing
way in
is, all
hell.
they shit public. Everything he has done is everywhere, all over the news. It's all over the blogs. It ain't gonna take nothing but a click, and everybody, the judge will know everything that they need to know. He admitted the shit. I'd be like, I want the house, I want all of the cars, including the Lamborghini he bought me, and the one he bought that new bitch. I want her car
the
too.
kids, and the dog. I want it
And I
all.
will have whatever.
I
I
got
will
pink
Period.
have whatever he
Lamborghini
makes.
just to race in China.
What kind of church you going to where y'all get to go 3 or 4 day
Damn.
trips with y'all parents? Where y'all
With
go?
the parents?
Do they pay for room and board? Cause I joined the church just to get the free trip.
Oh,
Okay.
you ain't right. You ain't right too.
No,
Yeah, Lord, God know
she's
my
spitting
heart.
facts here. I would do the
Okay.
same.
God know my heart.
God knew it was coming. He the one who made me do it.
I'll go. I just look. The
Girl,
building is not what you're supposed to be worshiping. It's God. You ain't supposed to be worried about what man doing. I
See,
can
this
get
will
my
depend
pieces
on.
somewhere else. I don't have to get it from their church, but I will sure enough go on that trip. Sure will.
I
It depends
remember when
on
I was
where y'all go.
when I was a kid, I remember going to church
Where we
just so
going?
I could have
Bible
the
camp?
communion.
Because if we going to Bible camp, I'm not coming.
Okay, because I ain't got time. I will smack
Right?
the hell.
I'm not
Oh
coming if
no.
it's
My
Bible
church
camp.
had Bible camp, and the way that they would do it is like when you get off the bus, you hand in your phone.
Nope. Not
No,
happening.
no
Nope.
violation of privacy. I don't like it. Nope, I'm not going to jail. We supposed to be going to Bible camp, not prison.
They said turn your phones off, put them in a plastic bag, and put your name on it, and give it to us.
Excuse me, I'll get back on the bus.
Absolutely not.
They
I'll
say
be back
you'll
on
get
the
it back.
bus.
You'll get it back when we like head back to the church, and we'd go there for like a weekend.
Oh no, I won't be there. I'll be sitting on the bus. It's like, Tiffany, it's time to go. It's time to go home. This bus can travel. Let's go. Because I'm not staying here. You're not getting my phone. And if you take it, that ain't God-like. That ain't got no God in it. You coming in here attacking me over my phone. I will call the police.
That's
Okay?
stealing. That's stealing.
Well, you just locked
I've
my
never been to
brain.
Bible camp. I think
Neither
all the
have
churches
I.
I done went to was broke.
I ain't been to no Bible camp.
I ain't never been to Bible camp, but they say people get freaky deaky at Bible camp.
I heard that too.
I've
I was
never
forced to
been to
go, and
Bible
I
camp.
learned a lot of things that were not Christ-like.
Oh,
Yeah, them Christian kids be the ones.
They be freaks.
No, did y'all see? Y'all
it
used
be
to
the
watch the
free, it be the
show.
PK kids that be on it.
It'll be the legacy kids too. The pastor's children always cause the most mess.
Y'all ever seen Pastor's Daughters, the show?
Yeah,
Preacher's
yeah, I
Daughters.
have.
That show was
They go
wild.
to Florida or Pennsylvania and go to the amusement park with the roller coasters and stuff, and we do BLM history and stuff. Oh,
Oh.
Oh, what church you go to?
Oh,
yeah,
where's
I
your
know.
church?
I'll
I'm gonna
join your
go to that
church.
church. Let me go to
I
that
probably
church.
won't show up until a couple days before we go on a trip.
Okay.
At least I'm telling you the truth, baby.
Shit, it's like when I was younger and I would go to church just so I could drink the
I can
communion
understand that,
juice.
Susan. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I'm more spiritual too.
I was like, I
Some
don't know what this
people,
communion is, but I love this juice.
The grape juice and the little thin wafer
The
cracker.
little grape juice. I was
Because
like, I'm like,
damn.
5-year-old me love
my
that.
thing is that the Bible has some good words in there. I'm not gonna front, but a lot of the list of morals and responsibilities just don't add up. It don't. Like
It depends on your interpretation of the Bible. Sometimes it's misinterpreted.
yeah, because I was like I scroll down Facebook, it's you not a husband or boyfriend if you're not providing me. I feel like shit should be 50-50. But that's
That's
just me.
not what the Bible say either. That's a
Yeah,
whole ass
they
lie.
said the Bible, is for a man supposed to be the provider. I said, yeah, but at that time, women wasn't working. Women did not have jobs nor could get jobs.
The thing
Sometimes I
is,
think
too,
people think God is stupid, and I just really, I really wish that they would have some semblance of intelligence. When you read a book, yes, it's subject to interpretation. Yes, there are passages in there that don't right off fit everything,
Exactly.
but it's a baseline. It's not something that they take it as is verbatim. This is how you're supposed to live. It's
Right.
not. You can't live that way. There's no way you'll be able to live up to that expectation. It is a baseline, a morality guide for you, so that you can learn how at least to be a decent human being. That is all. You're gonna fall short of each one of those things every single time because we're human beings.
Yeah.
So stop using the Bible to try to chastise somebody when you sit up here fucking the pastor every weekend.
ooh,
I'm just like the reason why the world has evolved.
Yeah.
You're an asshole. Stop doing that.
Yeah.
You
The
sit up
church
on
I grew up
Facebook
in,
hollering and screaming about Jesus, and then 2 minutes later you was just screaming Jesus with the pastor. While his wife was taking the kids to the park and shit, you out here fucking them. There's a whole bunch of shit that be going on in the church, baby.
Yeah, too. You gotta give us
In the
some more
church
church
I grew up
stories
in, we were taught that the Bible is our rule book.
And that's
see,
not
the,
true.
the thing with that is it's been rewritten so many times. Like there's certain
Exactly.
things
Yeah.
that's in the Bible that in I think it was like the 1940s or 50s that was
40s.
the 40s that was put into the Bible because they wanted people to be a certain way. Like homosexuality wasn't actually originally in the
It
Bible.
was
It
Because
wasn't.
they was gay back
it
in
was
the day
no.
too. Shit.
It was supposed to be about pedophilia, not
Yep.
Yeah, it
homosexuality.
was
But
supposed
they
to be about
changed
What
it to
pedo.
about the booty holes
homosexuality.
back in the 1800s?
They changed it to
They
they
for
changed it to being gay,
homosexuality.
and like I forgot, I think it was by the Christians in the 30s or 40s. It got rewritten to that because at that time they saw that as like, oh, being gay, that's so bad, so they rewrote the Bible and put homosexuality in it, but in reality it actually was about pedophilia. So the book has been
Yeah.
rewritten. They've taken excerpts from like the way it was rewritten in Russian. So the Bible that you're like reading now has been rewritten, and it's not technically accurate because it's been
Yep.
rewritten to fit what at the time the Christians wanted it to be.
Here's what I say y'all should do. If you don't know how to have
What?
you fear what people say, and if people are slamming the Bible in your face, don't listen to that. You're supposed to have your own relationship with God. You're supposed to talk to him for yourself. Talking to God is just like sitting up having a conversation with yourself. And don't act like y'all don't talk to yourselves, because bitch, y'all do. Okay?
Yeah, I was
Oh,
maybe having fun.
I always just tell people, I'm like, if the Bible we have today is what they make it out to be, then we would know about the Book of Mary.
Child, the way I see it, 4 white men wrote the book.
Uh-huh.
White men be lying. I don't trust them.
Exactly.
White men be
They
fucking lying.
whitewashed Jesus in front of our faces, and we just let them do it.
Exactly.
Talking about he was
well,
Hebrew,
we
but
really
he was
didn't have
blind
much of
with
a
blue,
choice now, did we?
blind
True.
and blue eyes, but he was Hebrew. What fucking Hebrew come out with blonde and blue eyes? You
Look,
must think I'm stupid.
all you got to
And
do
for me, ever
is
since I
just have your own relationship with God. That's it.
Not gonna lie, I bet Jesus was fine back in his day.
Oh
See,
my
that
god.
kind of shit right
That's
there,
not the relationship she was talking about.
that's out of line.
No.
See, now that's doing too much.
Ain't got nothing to do with that. Soon as lightning strike you, just be like, I told your ass
It was
not to
just
say that hateful shit.
There was just a lot of things that just like school, just things just did not line up. Talking about his hair was thick as wool, but he was blonde.
With long hair down his base. And it was straight.
See, when
It
they
was straight,
when
but it was thick as
whitewashed
wool.
it, they didn't do it thoroughly because that didn't make no
Okay.
sense. I mean, if you're gonna
How the
lie,
hell was it thick as
have to be a
wool?
detailed lie.
They didn't even say
No,
Mary was
it's just
white.
it's just what colonialism does.
Okay, they
That's
said, well,
just
shit. They said Mary. They said God was put inside Mary. So this how we gonna work this
Look
out right
here,
here.
at this point, I believe Adam ate the apple and just blamed it on Eve. I don't. You know what?
now see that's fucked up.
I mean, I believe that too. That's why we got an Adam's apple. Just some things just don't add
Exactly.
up.
Some
Some
of
things
this
don't add
shit
up. I'm just
just
saying.
don't add up.
And I
Shut the fuck up.
personally,
Both of
I
y'all.
do
Both of
think
y'all
that
just shut up.
Jesus was a miracle, maybe. But I
Stupid.
don't think he was sent. I think Mary was doing some little something on the side.
What?
She had to
Not
be.
We finna change the subject.
Oh
I'm
no,
not.
she had to be.
I'm not finna do
now
this.
Mary
that's
had a
crossing
little
the line.
lamb, but it wasn't the lamb y'all thinking of.
Shut up, Don. Shut up.
I'm
Just
just
But
stupid.
saying.
no, because the way
Now
you
that
could
is
do it
crossing
is
the
like
line.
No, I think what you said was crossing the line.
I just said that I thought Jesus was probably fine back in his day.
and don't say it again.
Your black ass just said that Adam ate the apple. Well, how come they don't
Looky
bleed every
here.
month?
And you
How
just
come
said
none of
that
no? I ain't
just
seen
said
man
that Mary
nigga
stepped out
bleeding
on
from their dick.
Joseph.
Not now time. Not now.
Looky here.
Now what the Bible
I
say?
just
Bible
personally
said we got
believe.
cursed. They said that was our
No.
curse. Now if he eating the apple, then I'm gonna need for y'all to start bleeding. Blood clots and all, bitch. I want to see it.
I don't
No,
think
Get
thank
it
you.
done.
us bleeding has to do with her biting the apple. I think that's just
That's
the
what
way
they
our
said.
bodies
That's
were
what they
supposed to
told
be.
us in school. In
They
Sunday
was
school.
lying. Look
That's our curse. That's what they said.
No.
I don't know. They
I
said
think this is
Jesus
just how
sees
our
all.
bodies were supposed to be. It's something about this is a book written by a bunch of men.
See-
I just they be
See, I
lying.
crossed the line, but y'all ran across the line.
Fuck that. That's what the Bible say. The Bible said that. That's what they say. They say we got the curse. That's our curse. That woman will forever be cursed, and that having a period was our curse.
Oh,
That's what
Okay.
they said.
I think Adam ate the apple first, then he gave it to Eve, and then she ate it. That's why we got period. But he said
You
she the
ignorant.
one who tricked him. That's how we gonna do that.
I don't know. Women are tricky.
I'm just going. I wasn't there, so
They
I don't
can
know.
be.
I don't know about that. I think she did it.
It's like a Law
Tiffany
and
can't
Order
wait till she
episode
get to
now.
have it. She said, Eve, where you at?
Yep.
What I
Me and you gotta talk.
I
Like
just
right
want to talk
now.
real quick.
Like
I
just
need
stand
to
here.
know
Just
the
stand
facts.
here and let me
What
punch you in your
happened?
stomach every month. Every month in the same spot. I gotta do it. Make sure I have all the power.
I still
So
can't
you can
believe
feel
Adam
my
and
pain.
Eve, like in the Bible, it says that they lived to like 600 years old. I'm like, aren't they tired?
I couldn't be immortal.
Me either. It was
Like
like it
when
said
you think about
600
They weren't
years
immortal.
old.
They ended up dying eventually.
But I mean, when you look at like vampires live. I couldn't be a vampire and live for that long. It get
Mm.
boring.
Why? They
Yeah.
got people with them and the times change.
Okay,
Not all the time, though. Not all the time.
Well, no,
Well,
it
I mean, if
depends.
you're gonna go by if you're gonna go by what we saw in Queen of the Damned and in Interview with a Vampire, I mean, it's either you flock with your kind or you don't.
Mhm.
And it'd
I
be
have a
hard
question.
falling
Are
in
we
love.
white
What if you fall in
vampires
love?
or black vampires?
We mean it'll be hard falling in love. You find another vampire, bitches. It's hard to fall in love now.
Why you want to be? But why would you want another vampire?
What the
So
fuck you
y'all can live
mean?
together.
So y'all can live
Janae,
together forever.
Janae,
Why would you want to
are
go
you
find
trying
another?
to fall in love with someone who will eventually die,
Uh-huh.
and then you're gonna be alone again? Is that what you're
And
trying
then
to
you
tell
gotta
me?
find somebody else. Like,
And then you
You're
get
gonna
with a
watch them.
vampire, and then you
You're
stuck
gonna.
with them, and they annoying as ever.
Okay, so find another
see,
vampire, bitch. That's what people
Yeah.
do now.
exactly.
I want.
It's better than watching someone grow old while you stay like immortally one age.
You some
Yeah.
Benjamin Button shit. What the
Now,
fuck?
that's the type of situation where you could be in an open
Leave Benjamin
relationship.
Button out of this.
Fuck that. That shit was creepy.
Wasn't
I
Benjamin Button the reverse though? He was old
Yeah.
and got
He
he got
born
younger.
Uh-huh.
old and
I don't
died.
understand
I
that. I
watched
didn't
that
understand that
movie
movie at
once.
all.
I watched that movie once, and it's still burned into the back of my mind. I was like 7 when I watched it.
Jesus Christ.
And
And
bitch,
I'm
weak
like,
ass bitches out here talking about, oh my god, it's so sad. That shit is
How?
I
weird.
was like, what the fuck? I just remember like people kept dying at one point that weren't him.
That movie
Whoever
still don't make sense to me to this day. I don't
whoever made that
understand.
movie needs to get shot.
Well,
They need
Taraji
to
got her
have-
Golden Globe, and did she get an Oscar from that?
I think she did. Congrats to her. But whoever
For
made the
Best
movie,
Supporting Actress? Yeah. Yeah, so
whoever
that movie had to happen for her, specifically. So I'm okay
whoever
with that.
made
I
that
wonder,
damn
like,
movie
is like,
needs to
like
get
I
shot.
wanna rewatch it just to see
Marquise,
what
how
is
the fuck
actually
would you
going
know
on.
if a vampire's sex life is boring? Your ass, you know what? I ain't gonna go in
You know
on
Compared
it.
what?
to his sex
At this
life,
point, he probably slept with a vampire too. We don't know.
I ain't got nothing to do with that. Because, first of
I'm
all, they
pretty-
don't exist. They don't exist. They're not real.
I'm pretty sure
As
his
far
favorite
as we
movie is
know.
Twilight.
His
See,
favorite
I have
movie
a
is
lot of
not. He
issues
likes
with
werewolves.
Twilight just because I'm
Sure.
like, if you get 2 vampires together and they have a kid, how does that work?
they have
I
a
thought they
vampire
couldn't
I mean,
have.
they have a vampire baby.
Wait, I
But
thought
it's like,
vampires couldn't have kids though.
yeah,
Well, according to Twilight and motherfucking Van Helsing, yes, they can.
because I'm like, if you're both dead, then what is your child? Is your child like
In
a
Van
walking
Helsing, they
stillborn?
was dead.
And I'm like, does your child age?
Well,
pretty fast according to Twilight.
yeah, and Blade, they did have kids.
They had that CGI baby.
No. So, like, the way that vampires were in the Blade comics, vampires existed like people existed, but if you're pure, you can be born a vampire. That's not, and you do age, it's just very slowly, right? So, but in like Van Helsing, you could be born a vampire, but they were considered the undead, right? So their babies were born dead, and theirs had to be brought to life, kind of like Frankenstein was. And then in Twilight, the babies were conceived, of course, but if you were human conceiving a vampire child, it would be feeding off of you from the inside out. So they had to turn Bella so that she could give birth to, what was their daughter's name? Resme or some shit?
Renesmee.
Renesmee, the fuck?
She said resume. That's Lil Wayne daughter.
Renesmee? What?
Renesmee.
Bitch,
Resume?
I'm calling her Resume. Fuck that.
The only
They
reason
Resume.
I know
Resume,
it's
and-
Renesmee is because my sister was obsessed with Twilight, and then I remember that scene when I think Jacobs calls her Nessie, and Bella says verbatim, "You nicknamed my child after the Loch Ness monster."
That shit was so
No, he
weird.
just called her. Never mind. We're not gonna go there.
Do I believe in ghosts?
Do I?
Yes.
Yep.
I believe in ghosts.
Ghosts are real.
Absolutely.
Yes, I do believe in supernatural.
I
That's
believe
why
in
you
all
don't go,
things
like, I don't like
paranormal.
going to Amityville horror and all that shit. I haven't watched Paranormal Activity because I'm not trying to welcome that shit in my house.
I've
Ooh,
had
that
ghost experiences before, so I believe.
the
Oh,
first
hell
time
no.
I saw that movie, it freaked me out.
Girl, the
But
commercials freaked me out. I said no, thank you.
Okay.
Keep that shit
except
to
for the
yourself.
part where she was laying in the bed and then it dragged her out the bed and down the hall, that was funny.
That
The
one.
Oh, see, you ain't shit.
only time I watch Ghost
Vampires
Activity
bite
is
each other during sex. But what the fuck else they supposed to do? Marquis, shut up. Shut the fuck. Just shut up. Just
only
shut
thing
up.
I will watch
That's your
with Ghost
issue.
is
I don't want
what's
to tell
that
you shut
show?
up.
What's that
Let
movie?
me shut up. I'm gonna shut up.
Haunted House. Haunted House is funny.
It was
Oh,
funny.
The Cat Williams up here kicking the table talking about he's summoning ghosts. Ooh,
wait.
all right, that'd be $5,000.
He said because he's Christian, he doesn't believe in ghosts. So you don't believe in the Holy Ghost? Is that not
No,
how it's
that's not what
goes?
he
Marvin,
said.
who Christian?
That's not what he said. That's Marlon, and Marlon just said, "I'm a Christian."
So no, I
No, you
So,
don't.
don't.
And the
So you
last
don't believe in
question that was
ghosts?
asked was, "Do you believe in ghosts?"
What does
I
Christian
mean,
have to do with
if
you
he's
believing ghosts?
responding to Enrique, I mean, okay,
Oh,
but
Christians
ghosts
believe
are
in
real. I don't
ghosts.
give a damn what nobody say. I'm Christian, and I know the ghosts are
ghosts are
real.
real.
Shit,
Mm-hmm.
Christian believe in ghosts, and if they tell you they don't, they lie. They just think it's
Mm-hmm.
part of the devil.
it ain't a part of the devil always.
It's not about
Sometimes
the
people don't know that they dead,
Mm-hmm.
and they just be lingering around. You
I
like when
feel
people
bad for
die.
whoever dead trying to talk to me, because baby, I don't hear you.
devil.
I don't hear you. I don't see you. I don't know you. Don't talk
Mm-hmm.
to me.
Yep. In my ghost experience, it was like I felt like a tap on my shoulder, and I was like, I think something's here. I'm not gonna deal with this. I'm just gonna go to bed.
Oh hell no! You went to sleep after getting a tap on your shoulder.
I was like, well, I was at my grandparents' ranch, and like, my like babies, like not my baby, their daughter told me that they had pastors come in and bless the house, because they've had ghost experiences before, and like when I felt the tap on my shoulder, I was like, it's not a person, because I would have heard them, because this house is old and it's wooden, so I would have heard creaks. So I was like, I don't know what this is, but nothing seems to be happening, so I'm just gonna go to bed and see what happens in the morning. And then I woke
Your
and
Hey,
my
ass went to sleep.
I'm like, Ma, come get me.
I would have left.
No, you would
Period.
have died in a
Weird
horrible
ass
movie.
house, because I'm not staying here.
Rico
These
just went to
You would
motherfuckers
have
is
bed.
died
For
weird.
because
real,
your ass
somebody
just turned
tapped
around and
Rico
went to
on his
sleep.
shoulder. He didn't see nothing. He like, all right, I don't know what's going on,
He
but
said, well, it's time to go to bed.
I'm just gonna go to sleep.
Mm-mm.
well, I'm here now, so obviously my intuition was correct. If
No, you
No,
was
I just
working.
think the ghost didn't feel like fucking with you that day. That's what I think.
No, because
No,
like
because
if there was like a genuine like danger to my life, I would have had a gut feeling, because I have gut feelings when something is off, and I didn't have that. I was just like, something's here. I don't know what it is, but I'm not feeling threatened, so I think I'm good, and I was.
How are
I'd
you
be
not
like,
feeling
look,
threatened? They touched his shoulder. That's a threat.
I
I
Exactly.
was,
was like,
but
I
it
don't
did.
know
I
you.
felt like a tap, like someone was trying to get my attention. That's
No.
it. I
I'm
was
like,
like,
Mm-mm.
I'm
like,
not finna go
look,
to sleep after that, Rico. I'm
okay,
not
I
finna do
don't.
I was
that.
tired. It was midnight.
I'm like, I don't
So
know you. I don't know what your intentions is. I don't
exactly.
really want to hurt you.
As
I
long as
don't
you
But
want you
I
to
acknowledge the
hurt
will.
me.
ghost, if you
But I think
acknowledge a
we
ghost and
cool.
they're benign, they will leave you alone. I said, I acknowledge that something is here, but I'm tired, so I'm gonna go to bed.
I said, I know you
Okay.
here, but I ain't got time to play, baby.
I
That's
was like,
it.
I got a busy day
Anytime I
tomorrow.
have problems with ghosts, I'm just gonna call for Rico.
But what I do
Rico,
hate
it's
is
something here. I don't know what it is. Whatever it is, I'm gonna put you on the phone. I need you to talk to it because I'm finna run. I'm finna run right now, and I don't run no motherfucking where. But you put a ghost in my house, bitch.
If
I'm
me
out.
and Tiff ever find ourselves in like a ghost situation, she's gonna trip me, you guys.
I'm leaving. He gonna be in there by himself. If motherfucking chairs start moving and shit,
Mhm.
and bitches start flying all over the room, bitch, I'm out.
She gonna leave, and then they're like, wait, what about Rico? She's like, nah, he fine. We can
Yep.
move him.
No, I
Yeah,
was
because
like
he ain't gonna
that.
do nothing but to acknowledge the ghost, and the ghost is gonna
And the
leave him
ghost.
alone.
At
But
some point,
nah.
I
When it
was.
comes to like supernatural things, like I've discovered that like I got like a kind of like a weird sensitivity to it. Like if I feel something is wrong, I'll know. Cause my grandmother, she's in a home right now for like mentally like gone elderly people,
Mhm.
and like every single time I visit, like I want to visit her because it's my grandmother, right?
Yeah.
But every time I go there, I can only be there for a certain amount of time, and then after like I think like a couple like 30 minutes to like an hour, something will happen, and like I'll feel like a switch, and like I'll have like a fight or flight like response type of situation, and it's like I have like an urge to like run and get out of there.
The fuck?
And at first I was like, maybe it's because like all of these patients are like mentally ill, and like they're all like schizophrenics or they have Alzheimer's or dementia. But I'm like, the more I think about it, I'm like, maybe it's because people have died here.
You might want to consider getting your grandma out of there. I don't like that.
My sister
Honestly,
said
that's
we
why I
can
don't
have
like
a ghost.
hospitals. I just feel like there's a bunch of dead people walking around and we just can't see them.
Yeah,
Oh,
I have the
thanks,
same
soldiers.
reaction in
Thank you very
hospitals too.
much.
I have the same reaction in
Sorry.
hospitals.
I'm not with the paranormals.
Nope.
Don't talk
Don't
to
do.
me. Don't touch me.
Don't do none of that.
I'm a child of
Which is
God.
why I'm saying, like, if I'm ever feeling threatened, I would
Well,
know.
he has a strong sense of discernment, and that happens with some people. His is more. It's more on a spiritual level, I guess you could say. He can sense danger stronger than most people can. Everybody has their gifts, and that happens to be one of Rico's.
Yeah.
But it seemed to me like he keep going back into the danger.
I only have those two experiences. Aside from that, like,
That's too many.
You
For
ain't lying.
me,
listen, all I'm
'Cause I
saying is I'm
had-
still breathing.
I know it was one time I was doing a college tour. I had one. It was a church area that they had. It said people come in here and pray, and it's real silent. We walked in there, and I felt so drained. I said, "Ooh, let's get up out of here because I don't know what this
Has
feeling
to
is,
go.
but it ain't quite like."
Mhm.
And the
What?
other thing is, he said something.
Marquise, go to bed. Go to
Yeah,
bed,
yeah.
Marquise.
After every time that we visit my grandmother, if like, because I would always tell my mother, I was like, I need to get out of here, and they would like just keep me there for like another hour or so because they were like, we're visiting, we don't get to visit her often, so we would just stay there. And then every time I'd go home and I was like very just physically exhausted, like I was tired. I hated it.
One thing I don't like is sleep paralysis.
Oh, I never had
I've never
that.
experienced that.
Oh, demons, witchcraft, warlords. It's weird.
I've never experienced that ever.
Cause like I know in my head, because I've had happen a couple times. I know in my head nothing is going on, but it's totally different in my mind. Cause I would hear footsteps, I would hear keys jingling, and
Oh
I'm
my
just
God.
so heavy. I'd be so scared. I would get to wiggling my thumb, but when I feel it come, I get to wiggling my thumb. I said, not today. And I turned on my church music. I said, look, we're gonna get this up out of here because we ain't playing.
Turn on his church music.
We gonna praise God up in here because we not playing.
Bless it, Jesus. Bless it.
You about to sleep paralyze me. That shit is
Marquise,
scary. I had a lot of times.
I hope this time you use protection, Marquise.
Oh, you know he.
I need you to do that. I need you to do that. Please.
You be hooking up with random folks.
Because it's dangerous out here. I ain't saying you can't have a random. I'm just saying, please just protect yourself this time.
Marquise, we in a whole Pantene Pro V right now. You out here.
Not a Pantene Pro V. Should have added new letters to it.
I got my.
I thought you were gonna say we're in a Pantene commercial.
I got a set list of people, so.
Basically, Rico was one of the people from Final Destination where they see something bad happen in their head before it happens. Well, he doesn't see it; he feels it.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's a difference.
Every now and then I'll have like a dream, and then like 2 weeks later I'll be like, "Oh wait, I remember this." But
see, I've done that too.
Me too.
People say I'm weird, and
Deja vu.
it's like I'm like, no, that's a vision. Like I was supposed to see that.
Yeah,
that happens to me
although
very
for me,
often.
it's never anything important. It's like a random, like I'll be like in class or like walking down a hallway, and that's it.
It'd be something important for me.
Yeah, it'd be no. It's never.
For me, it's a mixture of both.
Well, look at us. We a whole spectrum.
It's never important for me. Like the other day in the group chat, we was talking. I forgot what we was talking about, but we was talking. I was in the K Michelle. I was on my floor in front of my bed, writing in my notebook. And I had saw this before like, a long time ago. And when I was typing, I said, I saw this shit before.
Yeah, you did.
Like we was,
That was
this was a
funny.
moment. I said, I've seen this before. I said, this didn't happen. I said, I seen this shit. It was coming. It happens a lot, very often than I would think.
Did y'all ever have that?
Keep your basement up. It's dark. No one wanted. Yeah, I used to stay with my cousin.
No.
And they had a basement. It was one light that didn't work, another side that did. It was weird.
We never had that when in the U.S., but I know in El Salvador we had like a few places like that. Although, granted, El Salvador is not safe to walk, but like in the house, yeah, we have like a few spots. I think upstairs, in my grandmother's house, there was like an area that you just don't go near for some reason. I don't remember why, but we were all scared of it.
Hell no.
Yeah, me twice.
Although
I
I know me and my siblings, we've all like blocked out my birth dad's house for some reason, and I don't know what happened there.
Now, only time I've ever heard of anything weird happening was once on each side of my father's side and one on my mother's side. On my mother's side, my mother's her older brother, I believe, was killed in the war. So, well, it's actually her uncle. He died in the war, and he had they sent back his boots and his helmet and his gear and stuff. Everything that they had for him, they sent it back. And they sent back the flag. So when you pass in the military, they'll come to your house and they'll present you with the flag and everything. So they had all this stuff. And my great grandmother Mo put it in the attic. And at night, you would hear people walking in the attic. So my mom says she spent the night at her house one night and she kept hearing somebody walking in the attic. And she got up and ran to my great grandmother, and my great grandma was like, "Oh, it's just your Uncle Junior." She just yells at him, "Go back to bed, Junior," and he'll stop walking. My mother said she never went back in that house until they started to clean that stuff out. When they cleaned the stuff out, is when Junior stopped walking up there. Now, I told y'all there was a fucking cornfield across the street. Like there's a dirt road, and then the cornfield was right there.
Yeah.
I told them, I'm not going in that fucking cornfield. I'm not doing that shit. It was night, and all you can see at night is this massive field and just corn stalks. You can't see anything other than that. And then there's a whole like forest behind there, and it's completely dark. I was like, I don't like this fucking house. I don't like this cornfield. I don't like this shit. And my mom goes, I think it was like, what was it, last year, AJ? Mom told us about the house and how my cousin Trish was gonna rent it out. And she was like, Tip, you and Gerard want to rent it? I said, the fuck? I'm not going down there. I'm not going down there, Mama. I'm like, you want me to be in the backwoods by myself while AJ drive to work every day? No. I'm not doing that shit.
Yeah, my great uncle up here walking around like nothing.
No. I was like, no. Mama, I'm not going down there. And she was like, Tiffany, AJ can have your own house. I'm like, you know what? I would rather live in a room rented out of somebody else's house than to go down there and live there. I'm not doing it.
That's weird.
I will say one of the very few things that I'm genuinely terrified of is like wooded, like have like forests, like forested areas that are just completely empty. Those terrify me. Just because I'm not going to be someone who's going to go missing in the woods. I'm not.
Well, Janae work in woods like that all the time.
Okay, because I'm going to need me a string.
Be trying to get us to go camping and shit. I told her.
Fuck camping. Fuck camping.
I told her I'm not gonna lay under the stars. No, thank you.
The only way I go into a wooded area is if it was tore down and was building them. That's not for me.
I started hearing growling and turned around and shut the door quick.
Oh, that was a whole demon.
What kind of motherfucking Ghostbuster shit you got going on in your basement?
That wasn't a ghost. That was a demon.
Child, me and my cousin used to go to the
Cornfield
races
sound
a
like
lot.
some Jeepers Creepers stuff. I ain't seen no damn. Ain't nobody talking about they wanted to eat me when I was out there, so I didn't see none of that. I was straight.
Hey there, big chocolate girl. I just want to eat you up.
Janae set up the camping trip. You're gonna be the only one going, cause I'm not going.
Yeah, I'll
I'm
pass.
not
It's
doing
enough
it.
Too
for me.
many, too many Girl Scouts experiences to go camping for me. Count me out. I never was a Girl Scout.
I was a
I
Girl
was a
Scout.
brownie, but we was in the hood, so we didn't do that. We we didn't go camping. We sold them damn cookies though. It was pimping out them motherfucking
I was
cookies.
too poor to be a Boy Scout, so
The
You was too
closest thing I ever
what?
got.
I was too poor.
Oh no.
Oh,
I was too poor. My mother was always working, so like I never had anyone to take me.
That's
Oh, we
true.
walked
So
to our meetings. We didn't have
I
art.
didn't get involved in any sort of like activities or anything like that until like high school. Because I did band in middle school, but I could never go on the trips.
Uh-uh.
Oh
Well, I
hell
mean, I wasn't
no.
that good enough to go on the trips, but like,
Oh god. No, we the brownie meetings were at a church. So we went to the church and had the meetings. They didn't really do nothing. They just gave us the pamphlet and was like, if you sell these cookies, we'll give you a badge. Like they didn't make us do what normal Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts of America do. We didn't do that. They didn't even give us a damn sash.
damn.
They had us wearing
oh,
those school uniforms. You know, school uniforms had the natural they was blue, they was navy blue, and they had you wore it over a shirt, right?
Uh-huh.
So they gave us our badge on our school uniform and they was like, okay, program is over. That's pretty much it. So we was little hood. They had that, they had the Boys and Girls Club, and then they had the free lunch program when we was kids. So
Oh, I
you can
did the Boys and
go
Girls
during
Club.
the summer and get a box lunch, and the box lunch always had like ham sandwiches in there or
Ooh.
bologna sandwiches, and you can get chips, a fruit cup. You can get milk, chocolate milk or whatever, and they would give you the box lunch. The box lunch was fire. I remember them.
Yeah, those sound like
Girl,
a
that was the
snack.
lucky you could that before Michelle Obama got up in there and changed the food around.
Oh God, we thank you.
I saw
look
a
here.
Vine
So I
once
about
when
to
it
I
go
was
love
for
the
like,
Obamas, but Michelle, she was
I
wrong for
saw a
that.
Vine once when it
Y'all
was
Girl, we
can't
like,
gotta
blame
get
her for
healthy.
that. Y'all
Girl,
not
we
finna
Cause
gotta
do
we
get
that.
care.
healthy.
She could have did that
Uh-huh.
once. We left and stuff. I
She
mean,
said
shit.
that what she was trying to do was not what they intended. I mean, what they ended up doing.
Well, what was
She
she
said
trying to
they
do?
ruined the program before it could even get to where it needed. All she wanted was for people to have a balanced meal. So she wanted to incorporate real fruit, but because some school systems didn't have the money to or didn't want to allocate the money to them, they did shit like where you get them fucking veggie things where it's a patta of protein and vegetables mashed together, and then they give you applesauce and shit. They
Uh-uh.
said that's what they could afford under her program restrictions. But she was advocating for fresh fruit and fresh vegetables. That's what she wanted.
all I know is that
Well, they
like when I
always
was
did
in,
that at the schools I went to before they were even in office. So
yeah,
That's
true.
because you bougie.
I am not bougie.
Tell me what kind of electives you had at your school, Songstress.
Wait, like what grade level are we talking here?
Girl,
That's
it don't
sad.
matter.
That's it, because you just answered
Girl,
the
It don't
question right
matter. Like,
there.
just say, okay, outside of your core classes, what other
Uh huh.
classes could you take? Irregardless of your grade level, what classes could you take outside of your core classes?
Like in middle school, high school, where are we
It
going?
don't matter.
Oh,
It
across the
don't matter. Let's
board.
go
Okay,
high school. Since you need a
okay, high
baseline,
school.
let's start with high school.
Okay, in high school you could take ASL, you could take Spanish. I think they had French one year, but then they got rid of it for some reason. You could take
Mm-hmm.
band. I think they had musical production, not musical production, but music production there one year. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember all these damn electives. They had theater and some more shit I can't remember
Mm.
because I didn't take. Well,
Stuff
no,
that
they had
had to be paid
psychology.
for.
Wait, I got it.
Mm.
They
You could
got
take
they had
psychology.
psychology.
Mm,
They had a class to teach you to be a teacher, and I was like, how the
mm,
fuck I end up in this elective? Uh,
okay.
and they had some most stuff in middle school. They had like choir, band. They had like a medical type elective.
Oh,
Like
Medical.
one time we
okay.
were going to
Mm.
dissect a lamb brain, but then we couldn't do it for some reason. And
What
then the class
electives
next
did
to
you
that,
take, songstress?
I took
Hold
the
on, wait,
medical
today,
one.
wait, cause she don't think she boozy, so just let her finish. Hold on.
I took the medical one. I only did that because they got rid of choir for like a short amount of time because the choir teacher went to another school, so I had
Now,
to end up in that one. But then I
so
wanted to
your
take the
school
one
don't
with like the
sound like an
plants
inner
and
city
stuff.
school, baby. That don't
Okay.
sound like an inner
First of
city
all,
school.
You lost me
I
at ASAL.
Period.
ASL.
My school didn't have
Period. Dime.
ASL.
I
Because I
never
wasn't learning
said I
sign
was an
language in
inner
high
city
school.
kid. I just
It's
said me myself.
bougie.
I am not bougie.
If I
Now
want to learn sign language, I go to
You
YouTube.
and Janae may have had a different upbringing when it came to the schools you went to because the schools had better quality. Those schools sound like they're private. Like
Wait,
They're
their
not
how
community
did I get
private.
lumped into
it's
this?
either private or the
Uh-uh.
community you live in provided the school district with enough money to be able to afford you with that amenity. Because where I went to
We
school,
Wait a minute. Only thing at
the
my school
only
that I talked to
elective
was
we
the
had
food. I didn't have all the stuff she had. All we
The
had was
only
French and
elective I
Spanish.
had when I went to school was Spanish. And even that got taken away. We didn't have theater. We put on plays as a class. They selected you as a class to put on a play. In middle school, we didn't have electives. You went to class and you took your ass home. They gave you recess in elementary, and that's about it. And our recess, we didn't have no fucking playground. You know how some people got a goddamn, at least got a slide, bitch? We ain't had no slide. You know, we had paint on the ground so we could play four corners. That's what we had. Okay. We had jump ropes. We could afford that. When I went to high school, the only electives that I had in the high school I went to were the classes that were supposed to lead us into our careers. When you had a regular high school here in Cleveland and an inner city high school, you could take stuff like Spanish or French, or you can take there was no shop, there was no home ec, there was none of that. Certain schools had certain electives. So if you went to a school, what was it, Max Hayes here?
That's the
Max
elective that I
Hayes.
forgot. They
Max Hayes had the program where it was close to shop, but you could learn how to fix cars.
Ooh.
So they had that. But you had to apply to go to Max Hayes, and you had to apply to that program specifically. And if you didn't get in, you weren't going to Max Hayes. Yeah, you had to apply to go to our school, but it was specifically so that they could meet the quota for the amount of kids who were going to that school. There are schools
Mhm.
here that are designated for specific careers. Cleveland School of the Arts is one of them. So is early college. What is the other one? AJ, the medical one. Health careers. And then South was the school where you can learn how to cut hair or be a cosmetologist. And then our school was geared more towards business style careers. So you couldn't be in a school and learn how to speak sign language and then turn around and go take fucking shop, and then the next year you taking French and goddamn theater. That don't exist.
You
You
got
don't have
your
that.
main
Wait,
elective all
I just want
throughout
to know
high
how did
school.
I get brought into this? Because my high
I lumped
school
you
is
in.
my high school is nowhere near what Songstress had. We had for our electives you either have French or Spanish. We did have band, and then we did have home ec. That was it.
I ain't had none
That
of that.
but that's pretty standard across all schools in California. Like we didn't have theater at my school.
What was your lunch
We
like,
didn't have none of
Tamika?
that. They ain't teach us how to cook. They took home ec away from us when we was in middle school.
We
Mm.
was cooking
They told us
waffles
we
in
didn't
home
Oh
get
ec.
yeah,
home
that's what I
economics.
forgot. We had home ec too. I
We
didn't
we was
take it though
cooking
because that class
we
got
was
pulled
cooking
up.
like simple stuff like waffles. Like we wasn't like cooking. We waffles,
Shit, we was before
waffle
they took
sticks.
away the damn class. Our teacher was teaching us how to make. She taught us how to make how to bake a cake. She taught us how to make
Ooh.
steak. She taught us how to make everything had to be made from scratch. She made biscuits, we made rolls, and then that next year they took the class from us.
Nah, we didn't
They
make
told
that.
us we didn't
We
need the
didn't get
class
all
anymore.
That's sad.
Hell yeah, we did. They was teaching us how to cook. She had a fucking cookbook and she was cooking from.
And like the only
They
sports
they
we
had
had
a
at my high
cook school
school,
at
all we had was football and basketball for the boys and girls. Those are the only.
We didn't have sports. We had
We didn't have
basketball
sports
and
in my high
and
Yeah,
our
school.
we didn't.
men's basketball team sucked. The
And
boys
we had
sucked.
tennis. We had tennis,
Y'all
but we.
sucked.
In
We
my
had
high school, we didn't have sports,
After
but
I
then like a
wasn't on the
bunch of the
team, my
boys made a
freshman year, I'm
basketball
serious.
club.
Our freshman year there, that was the best record we had the whole time we was in high school.
Y'all sucked, Gerard.
No, we didn't.
Yes, y'all did.
No, we did. We made it to the semifinals in our team.
And what happened?
We lost by 2 points.
Y'all sucked, Jared.
We didn't suck.
Yes, y'all did.
No, we didn't.
Yes, y'all did.
Every team before
Jared.
we got there, they didn't make the playoffs.
Y'all sucked, Jared. I saw y'all play. Horrible.
You see the record, you know.
Horrible. Horrible. You were terrible.
Every year, our basketball team, the boys is terrible.
Y'all suck, Jared. I saw y'all play. And I used to saw y'all do intramurals. Y'all were horrible. Horrible.
Poor Jared.
The girls used to whoop y'all ass in the basketball every year. They went to the citywide finals every year, and you Negroes could barely make it past the first round. You were terrible. You was on team freshman and junior.
No, I was not.
Yes, you
No, I
were.
was not. I only played basketball my freshman year. After my grades, I was had that one up that kept me off.
Terrible. Terrible.
Okay, so I forgot.
My freshman year, I mean, coach was terrible.
Anatomy and physiology killed me with so much notes. 80 and 90 slides of notes. I probably would have thrived in that class. I love when the teachers be trying to challenge you. Be like, yes, we have notes, bitch. Bring it on. I copy notes. Let's go. I
My
learn better
favorite
when I
notes,
have to look at it many times anyway. Let's do this.
I guess I was writing the wrong shit down for my notes because whatever I was writing down was not on the goddamn test. I said, this is bullshit. This is why I don't take fucking notes. I don't know what I'm doing.
I would zone out in class so often, but like I would somehow retain enough information to pass.
Same.
And that was
I was
before.
zoned out like,
What
oh,
school
wow.
did you go to with no playground? When I was in elementary school, we did not have a playground. I went to a school called Valley View. I went to 2. I went to Westdrop from
That's that hood shit. They don't know.
3rd grade to 4th grade. I was in Westdrop. Westdrop did not have a playground. We had a big grass back. It was like in the back of the school, there was a lot of grass and a lot of play area. You didn't have no playground in middle school. Nobody did. Nobody in Cleveland had a fucking playground.
Elementary school, my first
Elementary
school, I did not have a playground.
Elementary school, I did not have a playground in elementary school. There was no playground. There are no playgrounds in elementary school here in Cleveland. If you go outside for recess in elementary school, you literally go out there and you go in the back of the parking lot. There is no playground. That's because the Boys and Girls Club bought it for them. But there is no playground. We didn't have no playground. You go out there in the back and you play 4 corners. And you got to fight because bitches be cheating when you play 4 corners. You have to tell them, like, bitch, that ball hit your corner. You are no longer the queen, bitch. Get your ass out the square. Go on about your business. We never had that. Like, even in middle school, we didn't get recess. That was when you learned how to start switching classes in middle school. So we didn't have recess in middle school. So you go to lunch, you get lunch, and usually in middle school, your lunch was a double block period. You get done with lunch, and you move on to your next class. Or literally in just about every school I went to, the cafeteria was the biggest room next to the gym. Yeah, the auditorium, well, the
multi-purpose center.
Yeah, that's what they called it. But the cafeteria was the biggest room in high school. for our high school, it was the biggest room. And then, like, I know my middle school's auditorium was better than my high school's gym. Like, the auditorium we had in middle school was a full stage. It was a full stage. It was like going into an actual theater. But when you go to my high school and you walk around in there, it's like going into a business center. It was built that way on purpose.
My school didn't have a cafeteria. We had to turn like a makeshift conference room into a cafeteria.
Did you say they had no cafeteria?
No,
We
it
had
was
a
like
cafeteria.
because the school I went to, like the building used to be a warehouse, so we just took the biggest room with tile. Yeah, we just took the biggest room and it had tile in there, and then whenever the lunch ladies came, they had to put down their own tables.
Oh, child.
I ain't got time for that.
I thought I've seen worse days.
Okay.
Yeah.
What class was the hardest for me? It's always math.
Ugh.
It's
Physics
do-
and geometry. I hate
You give me
those.
science, you give me history. I thrive in history and government, and you give me science. I love science. And English, I can write it, but speaking with English isn't always the greatest. So I never had an issue with reading or anything like that. I love to read, but it was always fucking math. Math tears me apart every fucking time.
For me, I didn't really have hard classes until I got to my senior
These
year.
niggas had ceramics and dance hula at they
Ceramics.
So nice.
Damn,
right?
that's
Y'all
like
making
what
pots and shit.
the school that my stepbrother goes to, because he had a pottery class, and I was like, what the fuck is this?
Oh, they had a pottery class. What kind of bullshit? I feel like I was deprived.
Well, I was deprived too.
Oh,
Girl,
I
you
forgot
were.
to mention the graphic design class that they had.
What?
Song should be quiet.
But no, I think with my school,
Forgot it
we
because
were
I
small.
got bad memory. I
But
remember stuff like 10 minutes later.
Girl,
Although with my school, you
was
didn't get to
privileged,
pick
honey.
electives
Just let it go.
freely.
was
Any
real
electives that
privileged.
they offered, they weren't really electives; they were clubs. So like theater was a club. We weren't like an official thing. So we had to do everything like ourselves. And I think my sophomore year was the year that we could finally do a musical because we finally had like enough people there, and we finally had some type of money that we could do something. And then on top of that, the community college that we were right next to, that we're partnered with, they gave us their stage.
Oh, that was nice.
But yeah, but any electives that you took, you had to take them at the college.
See, now we didn't do that. We took our electives at our school.
Well, good for you. My school was new. I was a part of the 3rd ever graduating class.
Oh God!
We were
Let me tell y'all.
That's
something.
new.
Yeah, we
Let
were
me
the
tell
guinea
y'all
pig era.
something. My middle school, the one I went to, or the elementary school, they would hang up pictures of graduating classes. My class is not. Our picture is not up there on the wall.
Why?
What?
Why?
Because
What
we
y'all
had a
do?
new
I'm just
principal.
kidding.
When we left, our principal left with us. That was 2012. So the principal that we had left with us. They had got a new principal, and she never put our picture up.
Oh hell no!
She was a hating ass
Shady.
bitch. But she put the class up after that. She put that class
She
up.
said she was a hating ass bitch.
She was like, how you what? We was the best class. What are you talking about?
Yeah, no.
But
We had like I remember we had like a new like guidance counselor every year.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, like I remember
That
like it was
is
like every year we'd get a new guidance counselor.
I said I couldn't take this shit.
We had the same
Yeah, because that little
one
bastard,
for 4 years.
fucking jolly Mitch McConnell looking bitch. I hated our guidance counselor.
Our guidance counselor will force the kids in our high school to strictly.
My damn guidance counselor was not doing stuff in my favor.
The kid will go to college in the States.
Yeah, he did. Like every kid that was you had to be valedictorian and salutatorian possible, or you had good enough grades to get into one of the schools in the States. He got money every time a kid went to Cleveland State, Tri-C,
Ohio University,
University of
and
Miami,
Ohio State.
and Bowling Green.
Bowling Green, yeah.
He would get a bonus every time he sent a kid there. So when it came time for us to go to the counselor and sit down and talk, he told me to my face.
Depending on where your grades was at, that's where he was trying to
He
say.
said, "Well, your grades aren't that good, so it really doesn't matter where you go."
Ooh.
Oh,
I said,
now see, my counselor never did nothing like that. I barely saw that happen.
"No, he was." What happened was when I got into junior high, the junior side of our junior year, I was like, okay, I don't feel like doing nothing, so I didn't do anything. So I had to start making up classes. That final year, I had my junior year, I had failed that world history class, and then I stopped going to my math class. So he goes, "Well, the rest of your grades aren't good enough, and it doesn't really matter where you go. So why are you here?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm not trying to repeat the grade. So what can I do to get my at least be able to graduate on time?" He says, "Oh, well, we'll have to take your lunch away." I'm like, "So I'm not gonna have a lunch period?" He was like, "No, you can't have a lunch period if you're trying to graduate. Maybe you should have thought about that when you were skipping classes."
Ooh.
The world history class I failed was not because of me skipping classes. It was because when I went to the class and the teacher was up talking about Hitler, he said Hitler actually admired black people, and
Oh,
he was
The
so
fuck?
enamored with how great they were. And
that's
I
a
said, "You're
bald headed
wrong."
lie.
I say you're wrong. He wanted an Aryan race. That's what he was trying to do. That's why he put them up in the Olympics thinking that he would win, and he didn't. And he was like, "Oh, you don't know what you're talking about." And I was like, "No, you don't. You're the one who has the fucking degree, and you still don't know what you're talking about." So he
Because you
kicked me
got your
out of class.
degrees and every fucking thing.
He kicked me out, told me I couldn't come back, and would
Oh,
purposely block me from getting in the class every day.
Hell no.
So I failed that class. And when I told the guidance counselor, he was like, "Oh, a teacher would never block you from getting in the class." I was like, "Okay, I'm done."
High school was so much fun.
Mm.
What a dream.
Mm.
I remember
Honestly, I think I saw my guidance counselor like 3 times.
the guidance
Shout out,
counselor
I
I had
saw
my
my guys'
junior
counselor
year.
the
She
beginning of the
screwed a
school
bunch of
year.
students over. Like I think like a couple kids didn't graduate because of her.
Uh-uh. I
Oh,
was like, this
that
class ain't
sucks.
gonna work, this class
Yeah.
ain't gonna work, this
We were a
class
small
gonna
class
work.
too. We only had like 75 kids in my graduating class.
Oh Lord Jesus.
That's a
Yeah.
small class.
Now,
Per
see,
day. That's usually
if my
how it
guidance
works.
counselor screwed some people over, it would be understandable because they had 3 counselors for like somewhere between like 300 to like 600 kids, somewhere in there. I was like, y'all don't get paid enough for that.
Sounds like
All
everybody
right,
had a
y'all.
stressful year.
I
So,
gotta go live on Instagram still. So I'm gonna go so I can explain some things on Instagram, and then I'm gonna be done for the night.
Yeah. This melatonin ain't shit. I took it 2 hours
Okay.
ago and it ain't hitting.
Wow.
Y'all have a good night. I'm finna go.
hi.
All right.
Yeah.